You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Well, there's the quarterback battle that we're going to talk a little bit about today because that will be on full display coming up tomorrow night when the Jaguars play the Bucks. Each player is going to get a half. I thought it was pretty interesting. Doug Peterson said their reps in camp have been separated by like 3 or 4 plays only. So that's how much this is a battle between Mac Jones from Jacksonville, of course, and C.J. Beathard, the incumbent, who has been, of course, in that quarterback room with Trevor Lawrence for a few years now. Brent Martineau along with Austen Lane. And, hey, happy Friday. Place is buzzing here down at Bozard Ford, Lincoln, and St. Augustine. Outlet malls, if you're down this area, come on by, say hello. I think we've already got some of our friends popping by on a Friday, getting the weekend started with a good-looking vehicle right behind us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's one of those Bozard-built Fords. I mean, if you come down here right now, they have all the Fords out in the front, these giant Baja trucks, off-road editions. And listen, like, I'm not in the market right now, but I might be in the market because there's a black one with my name on it that's souped up. I'm not sure if my son could actually like hop up and get in there. That's fine, though. I can press him up there, and he'll get in just fine. There are some badass trucks around here right now.
Yeah, love at first sight.
Yes.
For Austen Lane. So there we go. We will be here until 1 o'clock, of course, on the day and get ready for a Jags game on CBS 47 tomorrow night. That will be pretty, well, I don't know about fun and entertaining as last week's game because I'm not sure you're going to get one of those. I'm not sure if it's as fun and entertaining as the joint practices because those were pretty darn good. Yeah. The entertainment factor so far this preseason, at least on those kind of stages, has been pretty good relative to the camp stuff where I've kind of called it a bit boring at times. So a pretty wild juxtaposition there between the two. And listen, I don't know if there's the headline of tomorrow night, Austin, is not like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to see Trevor and all these guys. What are they going to do next? It's really about the back end of the roster. It's about the middle part of the roster. It's about what we just showed you, Mac Jones and C.J. Beathard. And there's plenty of intrigue there. Now, that might not suit the casual fan as much, but the diehard fan is certainly looking, how deep is this roster? Can we see those guys play well again? Because it looked like the drop-off was pretty minimal. Last Saturday night.
No, for sure, and obviously it's going to be a lot of 2s versus 2s and 3s versus 3s. And you talk about a Tampa Bay team who I think that they're a little deep in their own right. This isn't a bottom barrel team of the league. I mean, Tampa went to the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, they're still a quality team as well with quality players. So, yeah, I understand maybe on paper, you're not going to have all the starters. You're not going to have Trevor. We'll see with Brian Thomas Jr., but, it'll probably be a lot of 2s and 3s. But, yeah, for those depth purposes, and I guarantee you're going to see some guys from Tampa and Jacksonville that will play some meaningful reps in the regular season when it starts.
Jason Hamby, we got the human enigma maybe even back there today in studio. Double team back in the network studio as well. So we'll check in with those guys in just a little bit. Outside of, is this a real battle? Is the Mac Beathard thing, does it catch your attention? Usually we don't talk about it. I've been around here a long time. We don't talk about the backup stuff. But I think Mac adds a lot of intrigue there. And C.J. Beathard came in, and with all due respect, he's not a headline guy, but he's a fine guy. That's what the backup is. Like, you kind of have your clipboard. You settle down in the meeting room. We don't really talk about you much. You're almost like an offensive lineman. You do your job. Mac has a different feel. One, because he's from Jacksonville. Two, because he was just picked in the first round a few years ago. And his situation is unique to have 2 of the top 15 picks of the 2021 draft class. So I think that makes it interesting. And then we also know this dynamic of there's a comfortable nature between Beathard and Lawrence. So Mac almost has to really play well to almost upset that, to change that, doesn't he?
Yeah, possibly, but I don't think it's out of the realm of thought that they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks here on this roster. And not maybe in some kind of practice squad, capacity with C.J. Beathard, but to me, I see 2 different types of quarterbacks with Beathard and Mac Jones. I see C.J. Beathard, who's the guy that helps Trevor Lawrence. Kind of a true backup, if you will. Has the experience, we talk about this all the time, but has the experience, has played in a lot of systems, and just that guy you can bounce ideas off. I think Mac Jones is more of the guy where you're uncertain but can maybe help you win a game or a couple games. I think with Beathard and a lot of backup quarterbacks in the league, you know what you're getting. You know, I mean, with all due respect, like a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of had a resurgence at the backup quarterback, became a starter. Joe Flacco as well. But usually with the backup quarterback, you know exactly what you're getting. And with CJ Beathard, I think we all know what he's capable of. Can he go out there and win you 4 or 5 games if Trevor goes down, knock on wood? Probably not. Can he come in and manage a game and keep you up? Possibly. With Mac Jones, it's different. I think with Mac Jones, we haven't seen the best version of Mac Jones yet. Now, maybe that was stifled a little bit with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. But I think with this, we want to see Mac Jones obviously outplay CJ Beathard so we can have the conversation of, all right, what does Trevor Lawrence need? Does he want the guy that, if he goes down, once again, knock on wood, can come in and win games? Or does he want the guy he can bounce ideas off of and maybe be a little more comfortable with in a guy like CJ Beathard?
You know, we have video yesterday. I was back in the sports office after the show, and there's video. I think it was from yesterday. Maybe it was from Wednesday, but I think it was yesterday. And Stuart was showing me, and they're doing, you know, like they take the those big like jab sticks and they try to knock the ball out of the quarterbacks, like as they're doing their footwork drills and stuff. And so there's this shot of like Mac, and he actually starts to drill early before Mike McCoy can notice it. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, this is good by you, Hamby. But he started the drill. Look at the smile on Mac's face, though. And maybe you might have to go back to it a little bit to see the early part.
It's before the drill even starts.
This kid. Yeah, he started to go. He starts smiling because he's like, "Hey, I'm sneaky here.
I got
You're not
you.
gonna
Yeah,
poke me.
Yeah,
I'm starting it. I'm getting away from you."
Yeah.
And he has definitely added that. But what I can't get past the idea of New England and Alabama don't spark those kind of smiles. It doesn't feel like it. I'm not saying they don't. It just doesn't feel like that. Those environments do. It's just all business, all football, all winning, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not telling you it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I just think everybody's been a little bit like almost surprised at Jags headquarters, on the practice field, outside, by this like positive, almost fun-loving, kid-like nature of Mac Jones. And part of this is that we didn't really know about Mac Jones much here in Jacksonville. He burst on the scene like he was at bowls and nobody was talking about him. And all of a sudden, Mac Jones was like, Alabama offered, Kentucky offered. It's like, I'm telling you, we were like, what is he talking?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Well, then he goes to Alabama. Like, well, he's never going to play at Alabama. I don't know why the heck he went to Alabama. And then look what happened at Alabama, and then he's a 15th overall pick. So this was a slow emergence. This was kind of a hidden emergence here in Jacksonville. If you follow local high school football and sports, this wasn't a Tebow-like thing where he was ballyhooed. This wasn't even Carson Beck, who you saw kind of coming up in the last couple of years at Mandarin, and now you're like, hey, what's he doing? What's he doing? So we have plenty of those guys. But Mac wasn't really on that list, so I think we're getting kind of a chance to know him a little bit better. And I think there's this other element, Austin. I think, don't we want to see, like, we almost want to see Mac do well. Yeah, sure, he's a local guy. He loves to see people do well. But because we want to see Bill Belichick in New England proved wrong, or they were the bad part of it. They were the reason he was not successful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any. I want to see Bill Belichick get proven wrong because Mac Jones, the Jacksonville guy. But like, I don't have any ill will towards like the Patriots. Like, I don't want to see it's like, haha, we told you, like Mac Jones the real deal. I mean, I think the Patriots organization, after like try replacing Tom Brady, and to tell me how that's going to go. You try with Mac Jones a little bit, it didn't work out. Like, I'm not sure really any franchise can do what they did with the New England with Tom Brady for all those years, when all those championships, and try to keep expectations when that said quarterback leaves. It's almost next to impossible. Yeah. Green Bay did it with Favre, but like that's not even close to how many championships they won in Green Bay with Favre. He only had 1 Super Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls. So, yeah, I think just the biggest story with Mac Jones is like we don't know what he is yet, because he kind of burst on the scene late in his career, and like he's never really been a front runner. Like Trevor Lawrence, you could probably see it in high school. Like, this guy was going to be special. This guy was going to be groomed to be the number 1 pick overall. He was going to be groomed to be a franchise quarterback. Mac Jones never really had that. He had a great year in Alabama, shot up draft boards. New England took a chance. It didn't work. So what I want to see most of all is Mac Jones reach his full potential. And to echo what Hamby said when, they first signed him, and maybe a possibility, maybe trading him for, higher price on the dollar than what you got him for. Because it was a 6th-round pick, which, the Jaguars love throwing away, and that's fine. But, say he plays well in this preseason game. Say he plays well in the next preseason game. Then maybe a team needs a quarterback. Injuries happen all the time. Now all of a sudden maybe we're talking about a 3rd-round pick, even a 4th-round pick for Mac Jones. Get some return on your investment. I think there's a lot to like there as well. And then once again, if heaven forbid Trevor Lawrence does go down, can Mac Jones go out there and win you games?
It's interesting. Hamby, I want to bring you in here for that part of the conversation because Austin brings up your conversation, and I don't look at it that way. Like, I haven't looked at this signing as, hey, let's see if we can increase Mac's value and trade him away, and somebody might be interested. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I think it's a fascinating one. Wouldn't Minnesota be somewhat interested if they got another injury now? I mean, they're trying Sam Darnold out in a familiar way, so they're not going to get 2 of those guys. But what if Sam Darnold were to go down all of a sudden? I'm not wishing that on them, by the way.
Yeah.
Finally, Minnesota got some good news around Jordan Addison. But do you think that's in play here, Hamby? I know you suggested it, but do you think now that he's settled in here and what you've seen so far, that it's in play that he is somewhere else before the end of the season and maybe even before the start of the season?
Yeah, I think, well, actually, it's actually crazy that you mentioned Sam Darnold because that was going to be my question that I pitched whenever we got to this topic was how much pressure, self-pressure is on Mac Jones knowing that a good performance on tape tomorrow could lead to him being Minnesota's quarterback in Week 10 if Sam Darnold gets hurt or whatever the week is. Obviously, I hope that's not the case, but there's a couple of teams where, you would like to think that Mac doesn't even need it, that he could use his 3 years against the Patriots, but I think teams are going to want to see that he rebounded. And if it takes 3 halves of football each preseason week to do that, this is what he has to take advantage of. And, it could be a team even I'm trying to think of other teams like Sam Darnold was the one that popped off the most. But
well, who's backing up in New Orleans, right? Like, let's just say Derek Carr were to get hurt, or it wasn't to work out with anybody in Pittsburgh for the Raiders.
I mean, New Orleans right now, they got Jake Haener as their backup quarterback, or they have Spencer Rattler as well.
Oh, they actually like Rattler too. They've liked what Rattler's done. So, but listen, you can find your spot.
I mean, you can see Vegas.
Vegas is interesting. They obviously
year.
have Minshew. Yeah, you could make the case right now if Mac Jones and listen, I'm a Minshew fan, but let's just play the game. Could you make the case right now that Mac Jones is the best quarterback on the Raiders roster if you were to go there?
Over Minshew?
Over Minshew and Aiden O'Connell?
Mm-mm.
No?
No, until I see more from Mac Jones, I'm taking Minshew over Mac Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's closer than everywhere else. Like Derek Carr, you wouldn't even put him in. Derek Way, right? You're going there, right? I mean, Kyler Murray, they might need a backup in Arizona if he were to go down, but it's Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Sam Darnold might be a close one. That's why Minnesota makes some sense, right? We don't know
I agree with that.
about Sam Darnold. I mean, could the Giants, who did the Giants take other than Daniel Jones? Who else on their roster other than Daniel Jones? I feel like they got somebody else.
They got Drew Lock.
And who else?
Okay. Drew Lock.
DeVito.
Okay, well, but
from Seattle.
But that's not a bad, that's a good example.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? So, no, I don't know if I want to go back into the cooker there in New York.
Yeah.
But I want to start, right?
Yep.
I want to start. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's some examples here. Mm-hmm. That's how good of a potential. And listen, I'm not trying to tell you that Mac Jones is going to make 5 Pro Bowls in his career. I think we just don't know. We just don't know on Mac. Much like Sam Darnold when he went to Carolina, I don't think we knew everything about it because the Jets put him in such a tough spot. Mm-hmm. Like Zach Wilson, he kind of made his own bed in some respects, and he wasn't always in a tough spot. He kind of made his own tough spot. That's a different situation when you fail. Mm-hmm. So I think Darnold has always been interesting. Now we're on his 3rd time with Darnold. I saw something today. He's only 27 years old, which is crazy.
Yeah, it seems like he's been around for at least 15 years.
He's only 27 years old.
Yeah.
So something like that could work. And then, hey, the guy that's actually in town this week, and he's not going to play tomorrow, I don't think, is Baker Mayfield. He's your example. Even Max said it this week. It's that's a great example of a guy's journey that, hey, it doesn't always go well start to finish, right?
Yeah,
but it can get resurrected. And I think right now Baker Mayfield is the new hope for a lot of those guys.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you see what Baker's been able to do, and sometimes we talk about this. It's the situation, it's the coaching, it's the environment, and yeah, could Zach Wilson been drafted someplace else and play well? I mean, I'm not sure, but I think there are some quarterbacks out there, maybe like a Mac Jones, where found himself in New England, just wasn't the right fit. It snows, he can't throw the ball at all, supposedly according to Bill Belichick. They still win the game, but in the most boring fashion of all time. It really depends sometimes on that environment and who you have as your pieces around you.
And Mac even referenced that. I didn't pull that part. I mean, we'll hear from him at some point, but I didn't pull that one. But he even mentioned, because Stewart asked him about, how cool is it that, 2 of the 6 quarterbacks in tomorrow night's game are from Jacksonville, him and Johnny Wolford. He was talking about how he trains with Johnny. He even trains with Kyle Trask. He's even thrown with Baker, and how he thinks that Baker is an inspiration for him and other quarterbacks because he was drafted high. It didn't work out. It wasn't a total failure, but it took a reset, and he was like, yeah, Baker seems like he's found a great home, and that's something that I can do. He was like, I'm fully focused on, Jacksonville, obviously, but that Mac is looking for that next opportunity because he's sitting behind Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, listen, we're out of the gates talking about the backup quarterback in Jacksonville. This is probably the only week we're going to talk about the backup quarterback a lot in Jacksonville.
I hope so.
Yeah, we do hope so.
I truly hope so.
But it is a fascinating storyline. It's almost a story, if you go way back, and I wasn't in town at that point, but when David Garrard actually was drafted, I don't think they were talking about it in this kind of respect, because we know Trevor Lawrence is the guy. Remember, Garrard ended up taking over for left. Like, that was a different scenario. But if you want to go back in Jags history and talk about, like, interesting backup quarterback situations, the only other time is when you've had a young player like Gabbert, who was sitting early, or Bortles, who was sitting early. And they weren't technically the backup quarterback. They were more the, up-and-coming quarterback that was getting a little learning experience from the sideline. So this is a very unique situation. And to the point where, like, if Hamby's correct in any way, if there is some trade potential value for the Jags, well, then you have to keep 3 guys. Because we know this about Doug. He values that backup spot as much, if not more, than anybody in the NFL. So C.J. Beathard has to somehow, or it's important that he's a part of this.
Yeah, well, and I think we've talked about this before, too. If you talk about the practice squad, I'm not sure what the market's like right now for a C.J. Beathard, but I do know if you put Mac Jones on the practice squad, there's no way he's going to stay there, right? So, I mean, maybe you're looking at a situation where you keep Mac Jones, you keep C.J. Beathard, but you move C.J. Beathard to the practice squad and pray that no one's going to take him off there and claim him off waivers.
Listen, Zach Fortner just said this in the chat, and I think it's an interesting call. He says, does Mac have the arm strength? Felt like he was a first-round pick because of Bama more so than his physical traits. If he played at Washington State, probably a 5th rounder. And I don't know if that's the disparity. I'm also not denying that could be the case, but when you win a national championship and the way you do, your stock goes up, right? Like, it's McCarthy. Like, McCarthy, if he was playing at Washington State, he would have been a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick somewhere too, most likely, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not denying that these guys do get shoved up the board a little bit for playing at Alabama. My biggest issue with Mac, and this isn't his fault, I just think the game has changed so much that guy that looks like he can't move that great, it's kind of, that day is gone. Like, that day is just about gone. Like, he might be one of the few to still be able to do it if he can do it at a starter level. But if you go around the league, find me guys that can't move that are playing the position, I don't think you're going to come up with many.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to extend the play now. Defenses are way too strong, way too fast. Like, you have to be able to move around. And, yeah, to be fair, Mac Jones isn't one of those guys. I mean, Drew Brees made a name of it, being, just a pocket quarterback, Tom Brady as well, but the game is definitely changing. And keep in mind, I think what the offenses want to do now, be more dynamic, have more complicated routes and formations and everything, you got to have a quarterback who can buy you time, and I just don't think Mac Jones is that dude. So it's almost like, I don't want to say like you're stuck like in a time capsule. It's like you're kind of seeing the past, but Mac Jones really does represent the past of what a quarterback should be.
Yeah, I think so. Like listen, Derek Carr's not going to go be fleet on his feet on his feet, whatever.
Okay,
he's not going to be fast, but he also has he has enough, right? There's enough. Like even like you look at Minshew, he can run around a little bit. Like these guys, that's just not Mac. Like you said it great. The game has changed. The game has evolved at the same. It's not his fault. It's just that it's like if he was maybe 5 or 8 years earlier, I think you probably would get a guy that could find more homes and maybe even be very successful in the league, but it's just transitioned out of that so much.
And it's not even being a dual threat quarterback or having the ability to run for, 15, 20 yards a pop. It's just the ability to threaten to do that, and if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm prepping for Mac Jones, I'm not worried about, okay, we have to blitz from this side or we have to have games tailored to this side because he likes to step up here and he can run. Like, no, I mean, he's kind of a statue back there. Like, yeah, he's still an athlete. He's still a young kid, so he could run, like his life depended on it. But if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not worried about Mac Jones trying to beat me with his legs, or at least appear to show to beat me with his legs.
I'll add one more thing to that, Austin. I think it's become a safety thing because the defensive fronts are so good, and they're better than the offensive line right now. Like, we're seeing a league that's just better than the offensive line. There's more defensive guys that are big, can move, and want to get after the quarterback than that are big, that can move, that want to protect the quarterback. That's just the way it is right now in the league. And that's why I believe, partly, we've had 68, 70, 72 quarterbacks starting games over the last couple of years in the NFL. And so you're a sitting duck. And that's a hard thing to do. Now, sometimes you just go be a sitting duck like Brady was or Manning was. Like, maybe you just take your medicine. But your risk for injury actually, I think, goes up a little bit when you can't move. Now, sometimes your moving brings other risk of injury in, so that's like a double-edged sword deal. But it's certainly, again, this isn't a his fault thing. I think he's gotten the most out of his talent right now. I think it's just the way the game has evolved a little bit. But that being said, one more thing he said, I just don't see him being a hot commodity next year. That's not really what we're talking about as much as he might be a desperate commodity for a team. Sure. Right. And that's where the Minnesotas and others come into play, depending on what their quarterback situation look like. But right now, the Jags have a very good quarterback situation. Like, that's the beauty of it. Hamby, take us to one of the sound bites since we spent so much time talking Mac, and then we'll take a break. But I don't know which ones you have. Set it up for us, if you will.
I got you. So we're going to hear from Mac yesterday on just the challenge of competing every day against a guy that it's either kind of could be his job or yours, and how he goes about that.
Yeah, I've competed my whole life, and I find great joy in competition. I try to just be myself. I'm not going to change because of one thing or another. And like I said, I think we have a great room here. Trevor and CJ, they've been awesome, and I feel like we're brothers in there, and that's what you want. And you want to bounce ideas off each other and compete every day. And sometimes we have these net challenges and stuff, and it's like three brothers out there just throwing the ball around. So we compete in that regard. We compete in every other regard. But at the end of the day, we're on the same team. We're all working for the common goal, and that's every good team that I've been on, that's the case, But the bad ones, not so much.
That's a very interesting end of his soundbite right there. The bad one's not so much, right? You can see it, which means you can feel it. No, I mean, like, we can't feel that stuff. Like, you've been in locker rooms. Yeah. We can't feel that when it's a little misplaced. But listen, here's the deal. I root for Mac Jones. I think this will resurrect his career in some respect. I don't know exactly what kind of respect. I think it rejuvenates him as an individual. I think he was beaten down a little bit in New England by all of it. And you can tell, man, he's just refreshed and rejuvenated. So that's step one. And step two is, okay, can he find a home? Can he get another starting opportunity? And at the very least, he's going to be a backup in the league for a long time. And not only that, I think he's a future, coach.
Sure.
Doesn't he come across that way?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely cerebral, man. When we talked about, I remember their rookie years with Trevor, Zach, and Mac. That sounds like a boy band. But, we talked about how Mac Jones had it seemed like he had the advantage because of his IQ. Yeah. Because, the first couple preseason games with the Patriots, this dude's already calling out audibles. He's calling out coverages and everything. So he definitely has a high football IQ. I think going forward, Mac, and he could definitely be a coach one day. Here in Jacksonville, I wonder if he's going to be able to accept a backup role. I think when he got traded to Jacksonville, Trevor's the man, but he still thinks I can be a starting quarterback.
And he should.
Yeah, he should, but also I think the job of a backup quarterback is to know that you're a backup quarterback. I think what makes a backup quarterback a great backup quarterback is expectations of, I'm not trying to compete with the starting quarterback. I'm here for support. I'm here to help out. And I'm here to be, called upon if needed. But I'm not sure, in a backup quarterback, do you want actually that dog mentality where it's like, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be the starter one day. I'm not sure. I'm on the defensive side of the ball, so I'm not sure about it. But I feel like out of a backup quarterback, the best backup quarterbacks know they're backup quarterbacks.
I think you're right, and I get what you're saying, but I think those guys don't usually realize that until they failed twice. You know what I mean? We've talked about Henny in the past. I mean, even Minshew now, right? So he's getting that opportunity. I think if I was Mac at 25 years old or whatever he is, 26 years old, like, no, not yet. I don't want to settle into that yet, that mentality. I want to give me one more crack.
Yeah.
And then I'll settle into that.
But, like, you think that's why they kind of traded Minshew away? Because they didn't want to?
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I do. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, but then what's the difference between if you would have kept Minshew or brought Mack in? I mean, they're kind of in the same spots in their careers where they both think they're starting quarterbacks. Now, Minshew obviously is a starting quarterback, and we'll see how that transpires in Las Vegas. And I still think Mack thinks he's a starting quarterback.
Let's just take it in the context of this. I think I think Minshew at some point was probably like, hey, I think I can't. He told the organization, and I don't know this, I'm just saying, I think he told the organization, I can still start in this league. I don't want to settle into the backup. Find me a new home.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, Mac, they might ask him that question at the end of the year. Hey, Mac, would love to have you back. Like, no, I really want to go find a new home. And so then those guys answer the question for you as an organization. Like, okay, they're not there yet.
Yeah.
Where somewhere along the way, Chad Henne was like, okay, yeah, I want to come back to Kansas City. It's cool sitting behind Patrick Mahomes and helping him out.
I know. I mean, we can feel a certain type of way about it now, but who would have been the better backup quarterback for Trevor Lawrence now that what we know? Mac Jones or Gardner Minshew?
Mac Jones, hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
That's an easy answer for me.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like it is for you.
No, not at all, because I can't name another roster in the NFL where you have, because we still consider Trevor young, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How many rosters in the NFL have two young quarterbacks the same age that came out of the same draft class that are the starter and the backup quarterback?
Not very. It's unique.
I know we had that in Washington, but
no, it's pretty unique. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's very unique. I think that's for a reason, because you want a guy with a little more experience. And I think, Minshew, it's only by a couple years. I think Minshew would have had a little more experience, and obviously in college had played a little more as well. And in terms of IQ, it could be very comparable, but I know Minshew is definitely like a genius when it comes to offense and everything.
Good. And you're right about Mac. Those two are alike in terms of their picking up of plays. And I love Mac's answer earlier. It's like, I love new offenses. You learn a little bit more. Everybody says it's a bad thing when you got to learn a new offense, but it's kind of a good thing because you get a little more pick brains of other coaches. I would just say this, Austin, just to finish your thought and then pick it up here.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you that Mac said, hey, I want to be a backup long term, but I do think he was like, hey, being a backup right now at this point in my career in year 4 in this situation back home is good for me. I accept that. Like, that's cool. But I don't know if I accept it long term. I don't think Minshew has ever accepted, hey, you're going to be the backup. So, which, by the way, is an admirable thing, too.
So you think it would have clashed in the...
I think so. Well, eventually, I just think two of the things you're saying, I don't think he would have ever accepted it. And rightfully so, the way his career's worked out, he shouldn't have accepted it. He just got a $25 million deal.
Sure. But, he kind of accepted it in Philly, and then he got his opportunity.
He did, but don't you think he went to Philly because Hurts was in question there when he went there? It was like, hey, this might be an opportunity.
You knew Hurts was going to be the guy, though.
I kind of go back to that time, and I don't think everybody knew he was the guy yet. That was before the MVP-like season.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just think it was. It's totally different than a Jags drafting Trevor, where you knew you weren't.
Well, no. Right? Minshew obviously had a better shot. He knew he had a better shot of starting in Philly with Jalen Hurts than he did with Trevor because Trevor's the number 1 overall pick. I understand that, but
it is an interesting head game, isn't it? The mentality of that spot. I think you're very right on that, which also creates what I still think is I think they should do a 30 for 30 in the QB room. Because all the stuff that these quarterbacks say, like, hey, man, buddy, brothers, all that stuff, and I believe it. I don't think they're making stuff up. But they're all competing for this one opportunity. It's like, at least if you're a pass rusher, you're competing for, like, 4 opportitionities.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do not get that spot. It's a very unique place in a hyper-competitive sport. And I would, if I had time, I'd love to do a documentary on the quarterback room.
Yeah,
because it's very unique, and I don't know if there's anything like it in sports.
No, they're very well not and I get everyone's trying to compete for that one spot, but I think what makes a great quarterback room is that everybody knows their assigned roles.
Their role. That's a good call. Good call. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, Jason Hamby. We got the human and Nick in as well. We got it working here on a Friday. We're excited going into preseason game number 2. We're just excited that it's a Friday and a beautiful day out down here in St. Augustine. Come down, say hello. We are at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine Outlet Mall, so exit 318 right off 95. Easy place to get to and get your weekend rolling with us. So we'll take a time out here in the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. Happy Friday, everybody. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh, man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh, my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, we had some high school football going last night. SSAA, we've got some regular season games that's starting. There have been some teams that have broken off into this league, not the FHSAA, and majority of teams in the area and around the state are in the FHSAA, but that's going to be an interesting dynamic. But we don't care. Wherever you play, it's high school football. We're excited about it. Thursday night, it was Bishop Snyder beating Harvest Community 42-8, and the Cardinals get off to a nice start to this high school football season. So here's the deal. We're fired up. High school football starts tonight. Now, Southeast Georgia, it's the real games. SSAA, it's the real games. FHSAA in the state of Florida, it's kickoff classics. So we've got kind of this hybrid night. We'll have the Friday night blitz tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:15 on CBS 47, Fox 30, entire Action Sports Jax team. And we love high school football. We get fired up about it. Next week starts like the full go week one, all around really the country probably, but definitely in Florida and Georgia. And then we've almost got another launching point coming up in the following Friday. So 2 weeks from today, we start something that's really never been done in Jacksonville, and I think it could change the game a little bit. That's a little loud praise, isn't it?
No, for sure.
But I think it can be really good.
Pat yourself.
It changed the game for us, at least on our Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. We've got our shows. We've got our other lineup. We've tried different shows. But I really am looking forward to this part. We have the real estate and the landscape to be able to do something that we wouldn't be able to do on TV. And we're going to do that in 2 weeks. So it will really be week two. That's more of a resource thing because the Jags are playing the Falcons next Friday night.
Yeah.
And so Labor Day weekend, we'll do the Zone Blitz, which will be 8 p.m. until midnight. We'll take you to really focus on 5 different games. We'll show you some live action from those games. We'll still have the Blitz. We'll have our scoreboard show. We'll have Committed to the Uncommitted. We'll have recaps. We'll have band battles.
I love it. I like that. I like that.
Saxophone out, man.
I like that, man.
And so we're going to do it up like we've never done before, and I'm not sure anybody else has in town. So,
get that caffeine ready, Hamby. You're messing up all your sleep patterns.
Hamby is going to be a part of it. So, we're really excited about this. So it's a lot now, but I think we could pull it off, and well, we're going to find out if we can pull it off.
Speaking of pulling something off, listen, I'm not going to question the Jaguars game day experience because they do a fantastic job even for preseason. But we were talking about Mac Jones this last segment for a pretty good part of the show, and Bozard was playing Return of the Mac, like I requested. So I'm not sure if they've been listening to the show, or whoever the DJ is, mwah, chef's kiss.
Well done.
Hey, Jaguars, once again, game day experience. I'm not telling you how to do your jobs, way out of my pay grade, but you're going to have to see a lot of Mac Jones on Saturday night. Might want to queue up the Return of the Mac. Just saying.
We might push that up. We have to push that. We have to at least suggest it. They pay attention to social media.
Push it and then go ahead and pay me because it was my idea.
They sort of were paying attention a little bit to what we're showing. So
yeah, they're paying attention to what we're showing on the show. Now they're paying attention to what we're saying is another thing. I don't know. Apparently with the whole Doug Peterson calling the play things, they haven't been paying attention. So
maybe they don't take all your advice.
Well, no, they don't. But we've even made we spent money on those shirts, man. And you're still just going to leave us up there in limbo. That's cool though.
By the way, you know what's cool about this? We do remotes now. We used to be 3 to 6. And we do some remotes at 10 to 1. Mm-hmm. Well, when you do the remotes, like 10 to 1's an interesting time frame. Like places aren't usually hopping.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, lunch crowd comes in. Some places we go to aren't even open yet.
No, for sure.
This place has been hopping. This is hopping. I got here this morning, which is kind of fun. And they've got some special announcements happening today here at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Hey, you got to give us some high school. Like if I say high school football, does your mind go back to something specific? Like
with us?
I know you've given us a lot of stories over the years.
Yeah.
Like what? Like because I didn't play.
Sure.
Hamby didn't play. So many people have played. That's a cool thing about high school football. Yeah. I mean, you can feel it even if you didn't play, but you feel it different if you did play.
Yep.
And so when I say that in Iola, Wisconsin, what rushes back to your?
I mean, football is everything, in Iola, Scandinavia, Wisconsin, where I went to high school. And Listen, I've had the luxury and I've been blessed to, to play at Murray State, where I got to play Louisville when they're number like 5 in the country. I played at Mizzou, I think, when they're number 10 or 11 in the country, with quarterback Chase Daniels leading the way. I got to play against Russell Wilson in Indiana, and then obviously I got to play at the professional level as well, and had my first start in front of 70,000 screaming Dallas Cowboys fans, which is a lot of people's nightmare, but it was fun. We won the game. And I had a lot of cool experiences too in the NFL, but nothing beats my high school experience. And it's as simple as that. And I think a lot of that stems from, I think a lot of small towns can appreciate this. You're playing with the guys that you grew up with. My best friends from kindergarten, I'm still best friends to this day. Like, we all play football together, and then like that's something that we all had in common. So you build relationships, you build a rapport, and there's just nothing like it. When you get to college, especially nowadays, I'm not trying to hit on the NIL because I'm all for athletes getting paid, but now it's almost turned into you're playing football for different reasons. You're playing football for the clout. You're playing football to, get that $1 million. You play football for a couple reasons in college. And then with the pro level, it can be kind of the same thing. High school football, to me, will always be the purest form of the sport. So, I have a lot of stories, Brent, but to answer your question, it means everything to me because that to me is when it was the best, when it was the most fun.
Yeah, so I just put this out on social media. If you want to give a shout out to your high school, a little roll call. What was your official name of your high school? We were the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds, yep. A good name. Then. AKA T-Birds, yeah. T-Birds, yeah. Mostly by T-Birds? It changed, yeah. How many times do you remember the Grease reference? Oh, not your high school. No. So it's funny. Because we're too young for that. So like nobody ever really referred us, but I remember the old logo before we came along. I think it was the same logo as you saw in Greece for the Thunderbirds, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But and we were orange and black too, so we were kind of unique in our colors. We had giant we had these bright orange helmets. And then we had a really distinctive logo of a Thunderbird on it, and then we're all black jerseys and everything. So it was Orange Park. Orange Park or Halloween. Halloween, yeah. Orange Park has similar look. Hamby's Providence Stallions. He just graduated last week. Nice, so, man. Yeah, for sure. So that's easy. I got a little shout out to the old East Providence Townies. But by the way, the Townies, what you were? Townies. That's cool. It was kind of different. Now that I never knew, I didn't think about it. Yeah. But now you go back, it's I've never really heard that. Yeah, in other places. Yeah. So they just built a new school. I was over back home. Yeah, the place is unbelievable. Real quick, what because I feel like every state's got these, and maybe you had some in your conference. What was the one mascot or the team name that was just what? Oh yeah, because for instance, because I remember it might have been us. Okay, yeah, because our guy looks he almost looks like a pizza dough guy. Yeah. It might have been. I don't remember people making fun of the Townies mascot. They might have. Different world. Maybe with social media they would have. Yeah. And I'm trying to go around real quick and just think in my mind. You had some normal stuff the Rams and, gosh, I'll have to think about it. Okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't remember. Who did you have? Oh, we had tons, man. We had a lot of them? We had one that made national headlines because it was Kakana, which was probably, they're a division higher, or 2 divisions higher than us, but they're 30 minutes away from us, and they were the Galloping Ghosts. Now, when your mascot is a ghost on a horse, that made, yeah. So that actually made national headlines where they actually had to change. Yeah, because you can't. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Kakana. Well, I think it's still the Galloping Ghost, but their mascot's changed now. I'm pretty sure there's a story around here, and I think this is happening. Maybe it happened right before I got here, right after. My memory's not as good as it should be, but Clay Blue Devils. Okay. I believe either got. Maybe it was a cease and desist. I don't think they got sued or whatever. But I think Duke came after. Yeah. And I'm what the heck, man? Who cares? Yeah, but that's the most Duke thing to do. It's I'm pretty sure they it's taking our name getting sued. This is Duke. Hamby, what around here? What did you guys we got some shout outs, by the way. Russell Tapley, West Nassau, West Nasty. High school. And West Nassau is one of those teams, by the way, that jumped out of the FHSAA, I think, along with Fernandina Beach this year. Fletcher Senators, the Beaches, absolutely Fletcher said, I wouldn't think Senators is like the greatest nickname in the world, but actually when you say it and been around it, like Fletcher Senators sounds good to me.
Well, and don't they have like the old dude, like the monocle for their logo? Isn't that like their mascot? If I'm not mistaken.
Is that it? Hamby, help me out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's covering local sports here and who isn't? How do I know this and you don't? I'm pretty sure it's like an old dude with like a top hat and a monocle.
I think it is.
Yeah,
Hamby,
it's cool.
Can you hear us, Hamby? Or are you just staring into space?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Fletcher Senators?
Hamby, you look like you're.
Hey,
Hamby, you
are
look like
you
you're
in the past?
interested here.
What?
The Fletcher Senators.
I didn't know you could even hear us.
Did we just break the space-time continuum?
Yeah.
Why are you so delayed? Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to the Brent Austen Show. Good to have you.
No, we were wondering if you had us.
We had you like 20 seconds in the past. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, you're here. What's up?
I think we're on a little bit of a.
What is good? Yeah,
we're a little bit delayed.
Okay, so we are
delayed. Yeah, you get out of
here. Oh, no, I mean, he was going to say something about the mascot for the Senators.
Yeah.
Hamby, was I right? We'll talk to you in 20 seconds. And
maybe when we get back on the same time sync, we will ask Hamby if there was any, because he was just recently in high school. So around here, does anybody have like nicknames that people are like, what?
Yeah.
He was a Providence Stallions, which is a fine nickname.
No, it's cool. So I like that.
Even that,
you were right.
Even that doesn't
kind of,
jump
not
out.
Really. It's more of a wave now.
It's a wave. Okay.
Yeah. So here's Fletcher.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to tell you were wrong, but it's
Sorry.
not what I remember.
I could have swore. I don't know. Okay.
Maybe you're thinking of somebody else, or maybe they've changed it. I don't know.
They might have changed it. Somebody from Fletcher in the chat says it's on the same space-time continuum as us. Just please tell me if the Fletcher Senators had like a monocle and a top hat for a while.
We got Riverside High School. We got Lake Mary Rams. By the way, all the folks in Lake Mary, I think they're in the Little League World Series. I didn't even know you get Florida teams anymore in the Little League World Series. So Lake Mary is down there. We lost to Lake Mary in the playoffs in 2003. All right, we're going deep here on Lake Mary. Oh, so that's what you were referring to.
No, he wasn't wearing a monocle, so that's my bad. But yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yep, there we go. Appreciate you, Hamby.
So do they still use this? Hamby can't talk to us until 20 seconds later anyway, but I don't know. I guess I got to pay attention to more mascots.
Well, you're asking the wrong dude here.
I know.
You know, you're acting like I covered
it. By you. That was a good poll.
I got it,
man. Like, what I'm wondering is if you remember that from 2010 and 11 and 12 when you were here.
No, I remember. Okay, so this is probably, I know it because one of my friends coaches wrestling at there, and I'm pretty sure I saw him like wear a shirt back in the day with that.
I see.
That's what it was.
Yeah. That's a good question. Who has is there one? I don't want to disrespect any school out there, but is there a mascot that's like, really? Because, some people, Tokoi Creek is one of the newer schools, and they had like a contest or a vote on who they were, and the Toros won. And at the time, I'm like, yeah, I'm not too keen on, like, I didn't think that was the best one of the options. I forget the options.
Yep.
And now, like, after 3 years, it's really cool.
Yep.
Like, the mascot, the logo, the everything around is really cool. Like, it was the right pick, in my opinion.
Hamby, we get a second. Go ahead and put in the Rhinelander Hodags and go ahead and pull up that logo because that one's like the famous one of Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's a mythological creature that this high school adopted. It's kind of like a folk tale, like Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox. Well, the Hodag was supposedly like in central Wisconsin. It was like this demon-like creature that would roam woods and everything.
Okay.
Like as children, it's like watch out for the Hodag. So we knew about it, but it looks pretty interesting. So Hamby, when you hear me 10 years from now, make sure you put that on the stream when we're doing the show.
Maybe we'll do that when we come back.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little more common than people know that those kind of mascots get brought up, which actually is kind of cool.
I think it's great, man. It's definitely unique. I'm trying to think of something in Jacksonville. I can't really. Nothing's coming.
Yeah, I don't think any of them get like made fun of, if you will.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe that to be the case. At least right now. Brent Martineau Austen Lane. We're at Bozard Ford, Lincoln, and we're hanging out in St. Augustine. We will take a break on the Brent Austen Show, Action Sports Jack's 24/7 network. The Atlanta Falcons made a big move Should the Jags have made that move with all the talk about safety? And we'll have some fun with some other things going on here on a Friday as we get set for the Jaguars and Bucks to play Saturday night on CBS 47. Our coverage will start, by the way, at 7 o'clock. And the Blitz tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, 10:30 on Fox 30, just on TV the next couple of weeks. And then we start to really expand on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network with 4 hours of football coverage, 8 p.m. until 12 a.m. every Friday night starting Labor Day weekend.
We can deal with Andy, but
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Right now, get 10% off any residential job of $500 or more. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
At Southampton, local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, look at Everbank Stadium, probably testing some things out and getting ready for that ball game tomorrow as they continue to celebrate youth sports and play football around the NFL in the month of August. So that part is fun. They'll give away 4,000 tickets to the youth, and really the Jags and Jaguars Prep and Whataburger have done a fantastic job of helping out the youth sports scene. Girls flag football, obviously boys high school football, other events, and giving the kids a great opportunity, including Baker Sports Media Day a few weeks ago and these last couple of games. I mean, really, if you think about it, what a cool deal that if you grow up around here, you've got the Jags and the NFL team right around to be able to support and give experiences the way it happens. So that celebration will continue to piggyback on a little high school football talk from the last segment. Brent Martineau along with Austen Lane and Jason Hamby, the human enigma, back there as well. We are at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. They're about to celebrate some special employees coming up in just a little bit. We have the Bozard built Ford truck right behind us.
Yes.
I was thinking of this. Mm-hmm. Because I told Hamby this the other day. I don't know if he realizes that when we first started together years ago,
okay,
I plucked you not from the MMA ranks and not from the NFL ranks, but from the Uber ranks.
Yeah, I was doing Uber.
And wow, look, we're doing Uber. Look at that. Wait a minute, what happened here? So here you go, human enigma.
This is like around the horn.
This is really like around the horn. And did you see? You guys didn't know this about Austin, probably, right? That he drove Uber.
No, no shot.
I was bored. Yeah, I was bored, need something to do, man. So Uber was that. And like with my car that probably got like 20 miles to the gallon at the time, probably lost money actually doing Uber. But no, it was fun, man. I met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool stories. So yeah, it was a good time.
And so I was thinking, I was like, hey, you've got your eyes on this bad boy right over here. Like, how about doing some Ubering?
I mean, it's going to be an Uber Premium, that's for sure. You know, going to be
XL, double XL Premium.
It's going to be an Uber triple XL, and you better believe I'm getting a nice tip off that too, because that puppy right there, I'm looking at this giant monstrosity that, you know, I'm going to check the price tag on just to see if I can move some things around a little bit. Yeah, that thing is going to turn all the eyes.
Premium and XXL.
Yeah. Well, and the best part is too, and like I was going to talk about this later a little bit, but like, so I'm talking to them like, what do I do for a living, right? And they're like, hey, you know, we can get you a truck and let you try it around a little bit. I'm like, say no more. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm 6'6", so gonna need some headroom, gonna need some clearance. I'm an MMA fighter, and I like to go to the beach. So they're gonna like, I guess, let me kind of, you know, mess around with one of these things, and we'll see how that goes.
So you customize, because you can customize.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cool thing about it. Like, it's not necessarily like you come into the dealership and say, okay, I'm just gonna buy this truck. Like, no, like, what are you into? What is your lifestyle? It's almost like more like a lifestyle brand at Bozard than anything. Yeah. So like, yeah, I literally told them like what I do, what I'm into. Now, I should have said anime, but I'm not sure what you do for anime in terms of like, you're gonna give me a TV in there or something. But their eyes kind of blinked a little bit when I said like MMA, I like to go to the beach.
Yeah,
so.
if you do any kind of rap, make sure Brent's on there in some capacity. I mean, we spent a lot of time together.
And I work with Brent Martineau, yeah. So it's going to be a Starbucks, like, you know, thing in there or something. I don't know.
It's good to know that Nick at least hid some of his fanfare for Tennessee today on the show.
Oh, yeah, man. At least you're very modest about it.
Yeah, got to be modest. Come on now.
Where's that Will Levis jersey at, though?
I started the fire with it last night.
Some nice kindling.
Hey, Hamby, you going out with the girlfriend and a little bit of Will Levis Mayo cologne?
No. I'm just glad.
Do we have the video of that? I don't think I shared that, but
I'm just glad
Yeah,
that
we probably have to go find it. I saw some of that.
yeah.
as sick as I am, as the national media is only nice thing that they're able to say about Trevor Lawrence being that he has nice hair and this. I can't, and it infuriates me when our own local media plays into that over and over and over. At least we don't have mayonnaise cologne and a clown act at quarterback.
A clown act? Okay, so here's the thing, and like this is why I shared, and if you haven't seen it, Will Levis, obviously I don't think it's a real cologne, but like it's a marketing thing by Hellman's, whoever makes the mayo.
Yeah.
To have like this mayo cologne. I get that he got it because I think he added mayo to his coffee, and that was that whole thing. You know the whole thing with like Tennessee and mayo, right? So like
Jags, Tennessee.
Aren't you kind of like?
I don't think
bringing unwanted. Oh, he didn't know that.
I don't think he knew that.
Well, congratulations, congratulations, Will Levis, because now it's like you're almost like bringing a bad light. I feel like to your team.
Yeah, it's the other thing about
we got celebration on.
Yeah, we do. We got celebration taking place, so we'll lower our voice just a little bit, guys.
Talking about mayo over here.
Nick, I want to get an update. By the way, what does the family think about like your title here on the show?
The family doesn't know about it. I don't think the girlfriend likes it. I think she likes Nick in the daytime better, maybe. The verdict is probably still out on it, so we'll just we'll get an update maybe next week on it. But for now, I think the family doesn't know. I don't think I've even really told them I'm back here doing this stuff, honestly. But I might have a while back. I can't say for sure that I have or haven't.
We need to tick up in Tennessee, like with the viewership here.
I mean, I really want to go off the handle right now and scream, but I can't because it's like super quiet in here. But Nick, I'm coming for you later, okay? Because you got to push those numbers up in Tennessee, son. All right, okay.
Hey, we're going to do this whole next segment in our golf voice.
I literally feel like we're at Thanksgiving and like the table prayers going on right now, and I'm talking and being disrespectful. That's how I feel like.
Well, we had planned a timeout around this time, so maybe it's
maybe let's take it. You know,
go buy Will Levis's perfume. Excuse me.
Perfume.
Yeah. B&E there.
Call it cologne, though, right? What are we doing with perfume?
It's like French or something.
It's French, I think.
Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, wow. Culture corner over here. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
We'll take a break. We'll be back from Bozard Ford Lincoln. Tell you all about this ceremony and have some more fun with Nick and Hamby when we come back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
He just
All
said
right,
no.
we're back on the Brent Austen Show. Brent was trying to give me a live look. I might have taken the wrong camera, but award ceremony over at Bozard. We will have a look from there in a little bit. The guys will be right back with us, but for now, we're taking over. We're taking over.
There at the end, he went, Brent. Right at the end.
We're sabotaging just for a couple of minutes. We're going to hear from Chad Mooma in a second. How nervous do you think they are right now?
Oh, Brent and Austen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, try not to make a peep? Oh, I know Austin's terrified.
Yeah.
Brent's like holding the camera. He's doing fine. Austin's the one in the background. Trying not to make a peep. He's looking at the truck they're trying to sell him in the background, the one over there. He's trying to talk to Brent. He doesn't know what to do.
Yes. He thinks we're going to actually crash the show.
Took it off autopilot. It's back here now.
Oh, yeah. We got to be careful because apparently we're both in big trouble with him. Especially you.
Oh, what did I do?
Well, he was just on your case.
Oh, yeah, the Tennessee thing.
It's tough to spread the news sometimes.
I mean, he thinks I'm a huge Levis fan. I'm not, but I'll see if I can pump up those Tennessee numbers.
There you go.
Convert a couple of those Titans fans.
Yeah, right. You ever been? You been to Nissan Stadium? Is that what they still call it?
Nah.
Dude, I was just passed by the other day, and it was the smallest stadium I've ever seen for professional stadium.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I was in Nashville in March. I may have taken like a small peek at it. It was small. It was across the river. It was a pretty tiny stadium. Wasn't very impressive. I've just never had a reason to go. Even like when Tennessee played in a couple bowl games there, wasn't an interest to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we go up there, we're going to hope to see a sack from one of the guys we're about to hear from. Marcel Robinson was at training camp yesterday. He heard from one of the guys who's making a little bit of noise here at training camp, and hopefully a guy that we can get a lot more production in year 3. That is Chad Muma, and here's their conversation.
I mean, it's been good. We got married at the end of June, and, we had a quick couple weeks together, but straight to training camp, and training camp's been good, but, married life is good at the same time,
I asked Kirk the same thing when I talked to him about it. You're going to have one heck of a honey-do list when you get back home. You excited for that?
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm sure she has the whole list going right now, so hopefully the list isn't too long. She takes good care of me, so it should be good.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little football. Obviously coming in, new defense with Ryan Nielsen. What are the thoughts of the new scheme, and how do you feel you're adjusting to everything that's going on as far as learning the new teaching?
Yeah, it's a lot of new learning. OTAs, you're learning a lot. Even in training camp, you're learning a lot because you throw the pads on. You got to, learn your steps more because you're hitting guys. You got to know where your fits are at, and so it's been great learning. And we always preach it. It's attack and aggressive every single day. Win the pre-snap, and I think those are the keys that we really stress each day. And, I think, we saw it in that first preseason game is that one drive they have, really, we were just beating ourselves. And, we gave them those plays. And so I think it's continue to work that and continue to, make sure that we're winning that pre-snap and winning those downs and making sure that we're not mental erring on those, and continue to develop and get to, almost that second step, the Spanish 2 of our defense.
One of the things that most of the players, and even Ryan Nielsen said himself, is that this defense is not necessarily quote-unquote cookie-cutter defense. It's about fit. We're going to put guys where they fit. Obviously, you being a player, you want to be in a position to be put in a position to be successful. Is that something that you guys have noticed? Has it helped out there in terms of kind of getting on the field and making plays?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, we've been seeing it out there, and certain formations that we're bringing out there, certain packages that we have out there, it's all correlated to those players and what guys fit best in that scheme. And so I think you're able to see it in these games coming up a little bit, even in practices against Tampa. We were seeing those plays happen from those players, and it's just continuing to work that scheme and continue to, nail it down.
Do you think this style of defense will help you kind of get on the field and be able to make more impactful plays during the regular season?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's going to have a good opportunity to, allow me to see some playing field, and I think that's a big goal of mine, big step of mine, is to have meaningful snaps on defense. And so it's just continue to work it, continue to, eliminate all those mistakes and continue to work my craft.
How have these joint practices been? Obviously, you guys beat on each other so much, and then you have the past couple of days to beat on somebody wearing a different color jersey that you kind of have to protect, but, not necessarily have to protect to that degree. How have the joint practices been? Have you been feeling like you've been able to get some good work?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome to get the good work. I love joint practice this week. It's awesome to be able to go against other players, other teams, because you get 3 weeks deep in camp and you're going against the same guys, and finally you got a new face, new team to go against, and it's nice to be able to get that work in and really be aggressive against them at the same time of keeping guys up, but it's just fun to get that different look, different work in.
All right, there you have Chad Muma catching up with Marcel Robinson. I think my key takeaway is when he's talking about, I want my goal for this year is to play meaningful snaps, because he knows that it is, and he right after that he's talking about, cleaning up his mistakes. He knows it's his own little mistakes that have kept him out of late in game, third down, all these things, and he knows he's got to be able to be counted on for all 4 quarters and clutch moments.
Yeah. I apologize. I kind of tuned out handling some business back here, but yeah, he's been somebody that I've liked a lot, and I think at times he's had good play, but he has shot himself in the foot at times with those mistakes.
Right.
So to your point, yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest takeaway. He's got to make those improvements to stay on the field. Muma's a guy that I personally root for.
Right.
But I've seen him have oh Lord, the guy in the comments, my bad. I just got distracted. Come on, Duval Jags. But Yeah, Muma's a guy I'm rooting for. I want him to do good. I think he has the potential to be good. But, yeah, I mean, I remember that first part he was saying about the honey-do list. Yeah, she's got an Excel spreadsheet, buddy.
Oh.
She's got an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, no.
Maybe
It's
not.
been a while. Do we need to address this comment right here? Duval Jack says, Hammy, can you reset this whole human enigma thing, nickname? Who came up with that? No wonder Nick's girlfriend doesn't like it and his parents don't know about it. Crying face emoji. Duval Jags, I think you're a big enough fan of the show to know who came up with that. It was obviously Austin. There's no other possibility there. Do you remember what specific story you told that prompted and garnished that nickname?
Had to have been that week where not Austin, but Brent was gone. It was Austin and Casey. And I'm just rambling about stuff. Well, not rambling, but bringing stuff up. And one after the other, it's like I'm buying a duffel bag and a crossbody bag and so on and so forth. And then Austin's like, this guy's an enigma. And then I think me and Casey were like the human enigma. So that kind of popped up then. But he's the one that made the Nick in the Daytime thing. Like one of the first shows I did, he's like Nick in the Daytime to play off Nick at Night. I kind of like the human enigma better than Nick in the Daytime. I just do. It plays a little bit better, it seems. But I'm happy with either. Both have grown on me. So I don't know if the girlfriend has a preference either way.
True.
She's just probably happy to see me doing the show.
That's true. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. And we will go right back out to those boys out there at Bozard in St. Augustine. We appreciate it. And we'll be back in about 5.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Well, there's a look at Everbank Stadium as we welcome you back to the show. Brent Austen on Action Sports Jax 24/7 network, and we're still buzzing around here. They just had an awards ceremony at Bozard Ford Lincoln, and so we handed it off to Nick and Hamby, and I have no idea if we'll be kicked off the air after that segment. Not sure. How did they do? You were listening.
I was listening. You know, I mean, sometimes the parents want to go out, Brent. So me and you just we wanted a nice lunch. You know, we left the kids at home. We come back. Pets are incapacitated. The house is on fire, and the dishwasher's smoking. So you tell me how it went, Brent. Almost like, you know, I mean, sometimes Aaron Rodgers goes down, you know, with an Achilles. You bring in Zach Wilson. That happened. Well,
season's over.
Yeah. I especially like the Nissan Stadium breakdown that we had to sit through for 10 minutes. That was good.
And Nick actually, either he got hot or he was starting to feel too orangey.
Yeah.
He even unloaded the sweatshirt.
Hey,
had to.
By the way, though, Brent, I don't know why we had us in here when they're doing this, because it was literally like it was the most quiet thing ever.
Yeah.
And I can't be quiet.
Yeah,
like
be
my voice just carries. And when we talk about my voice carrying off these nice Bozard built trucks over here, like I'm hearing everything that I'm saying, and people are looking at me like, yeah, we have to get out of here.
Listen, that's the way it is, man. Live TV, that's where people look. People
it was rough, man.
Proud. I mean, they're watching.
It was rough.
A big shout out to all the folks that just got a President's Award, Triple Crown Award, one Ford Elite Award, Ford Customer Service Premier Club as well. Look at Hamby, just got that quick. I just told him that.
Right to it. Yeah.
There's the announcement. So big day here at Bozard.
Well, they're also having like a nice steak lunch for the people.
That this is great.
Yeah.
But the thing that stuck out to me that is still rattling my brain is there apparently are 400 steaks being cooked out back.
Well, there's that, and then also, dude. Well, also, and the owner of this place, who obviously it's a big deal because they're top 10 now in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Like
is what he said.
Global award for them, I guess, today.
Dude's dropping some curse bombs, which I'm all about. So guess what? If he can come in here and give an eloquent, passionate speech and drop a couple swear words, I'm going to come in here on a Monday after a Jaguars game, and I'm going to let it fly a little bit. Good or bad. We'll see.
You did actually throw one in, like, in the first 3 minutes of the show.
I did?
Yeah.
I swore?
No, you said it was badass trucks.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can say that. That's fine, dude.
You can stick the middle finger up, but you can't take that.
You can say badass, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll keep saying it.
You guys all right back there? The kids survived? Glad to have the parents back a little bit early?
Yeah.
No, I think we were having a good old time. We were.
I bet you were.
We were drinking soda after midnight and had the TV turned up too loud. And
Yeah, the parents' way all the fun was being had. Yeah, no, I got a little hot though.
You guys, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I got hot though. I had to come out of that orange. I don't know how you do it sitting here. These lights aren't very hot, but they're hot enough. I had to come out. I couldn't do it.
Who you telling, man? Story of my life.
Hey, this actually, we'll get back to some football because there are some things that I'd like to get to. But you guys are younger. So
Are you talking to me too, or
No.
just them? Okay, never mind.
I don't think you fit in this.
You'd be surprised.
When you were growing, like Friday night,
Okay.
like in high school, right? Was
Yep.
the thing,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
When you get to college, it's like Thursday night, right, Hampy? UCF, Thursday night. Is that still a thing? Or
Thirsty Thursdays?
I wasn't. I'm not. I don't know. To be honest with you, I feel like actually. Hold on, I got a good answer for you.
I thought you were gonna say every night instead of saying I don't know.
I wish you would have, man.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, every night is except for probably Tuesday. Like Tuesday, where most of them were closed.
Yeah, you're probably not doing that.
I remember
But
my
I guess
roommates would
point of
always
this
go
was-
to Latin ladies' night on Thursday nights at one place that we were not too far from.
Nice.
I thought college is Thursday night, kind of at least kick.
No, Thirsty Thursdays, Brent, for sure. But I don't think Henry's ever had a drink before, so maybe he's the wrong person to ask. We're all good though.
Not true.
That's okay. Good for you if you haven't.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, you've
Live a
been
little
drinking
bit.
like 5 years.
I know. It has been a little bit. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've got my like bullying sensors on here, especially after the Australian breakdancer. Now, we poke a little fun, and so is everybody else. And now, I felt I couldn't sleep last night.
Brent, first of all, it wasn't poking a little fun at. By the way, her name is Ray Gun, so let's refer to her as Ray Gun.
Yeah.
All right, that's her name.
That didn't spark anything.
Yeah, exactly. But did you see she put out an announcement?
No, I did. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm like, my sensitive feelings are coming out.
Yeah, but she's going to make a lot of money off it. So it's like, do you feel that bad? I mean, I feel bad because I was the person that brought to this. You were laughing at her. I was feeling bad about it. So I'm trying to separate myself from you. But I think, in the end, something good will come of it.
It's so here's where I was getting at with all the days stuff. As I get older, first of all, Friday, Saturdays, Sundays in our business, I've been working.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of free time there.
But now I find myself occasionally more having Fridays and Saturdays available, like in the evening, definitely more in the last few years than ever before. And so, but what strikes me is there's like this, it's almost like a mental clock, like Nick directs and Hamby produces. And so when like 6 o'clock comes around, or maybe it's 5 o'clock in the morning for these guys, or 7 o'clock in the morning, there's a mental clock. It's like I'm supposed to be doing something.
Sure.
Like even at 6:20, even though we don't even do sports anymore at 6:20, like I know when it's 6:20.
I got
My body knows when it's 6:20.
Yeah.
And so Friday night, I'll be at 9 o'clock, and you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I don't have work.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I feel like I should be doing something.
Yeah.
Like Friday nights, you're not supposed to just be sitting at the table doing work.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, it just, if you're home.
Yeah.
It feels like you're supposed to be either out to dinner or at a party or at an event.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know if that's still the thing for everybody else, but just the way I grew up, like Friday and Saturday nights, that was the nights you were going to do stuff.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what you can be doing. You can be watching SmackDown on Fox 30.
Yeah, that's not it. But very good. Well, the next 10 Friday nights, you can watch our high school football.
Well, I mean, we've talked about the Olympics for so long, not helping anybody out there, but we have Friday Night SmackDown, so there you go.
Until we hand off to college football, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get serious about some football stuff. The Atlanta Falcons go get Judon and Simmons.
Yes.
Like they're one of these teams that all of a sudden we're going, hey, we're going to go find everybody. This thought crossed my mind. The Jags fans forever have said, why don't we get players like that? Well, the Jags actually have this year. They went and got Armstead, who people like. They, gave they've spent a lot in free agency. And then on top of that, they even go get a guy like Gibson who's available. Now, sure. I don't think people had him on the radar, but I'm just saying they go and get him. So it's like they're add, like they feel like they're close. There's that sense like when you feel like you're pretty good or close, you're going to keep going to grab guys that are still maybe available. Why didn't they go get Justin Simmons if this is a concern potentially with the safety? They go bring safeties like Amos and Gibson in.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go get Justin Simmons?
I don't. Did you see the contract? How much it was?
It was like, guys, did you see it? Wasn't like $8 million? It wasn't crazy, right? It was like
wasn't that crazy? Yeah, I mean, I get that.
It's not crazy.
Well, yeah, and I get that you brought in Gibson as well, but I feel like you are pretty, like, in terms of depth and everything, like, yeah, Simmons would be their starter, day one, but,
yes.
I mean, I feel like you have that position now pretty shored up, whether it's going to be Savage, whether it's going to be Cisco, or whoever else.
Guys, so you got a thought on this? Like, why would... I get like Gibson still can play the game, I think. I'm not telling you he's in Simmons' category at this point of his career, but this just speaks to me like, okay, this was depth. It was maybe there isn't a concern, because if there was a major concern, they still have plenty of money in the bank to be able to go get a guy like Simmons, who's clearly a better player at this point of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where at this point, when you look at the roster makeup, it's tough to make an argument that Amos is going to make the team. Because of Gibson's signing, it's just like they can't keep every single safety that they've got, and they have seemingly 8 veteran guys back there. I think this is a thing with Simmons where you would like to say that they had enough money, but they give Tayshaun, I believe it was $2 million. They give Justin Simmons $8 million. Maybe they just don't think it was that big of a deal to go and get a bona fide dude. They just wanted somebody to come in and help at maybe as a temporary fill-in back half of the year, and that's why you didn't get Simmons.
Yeah, definitely seems more like filler guy there.
Yeah, I think that's what it says. I think that's what it's clear that even Gibson might have trouble to me getting on the field.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like, I thought when they signed Gibson, though, we were starting to ask, okay, what does this mean about Antonio Johnson? What does this mean? Like, are they uncomfortable somewhere?
Yep.
Because why did you go get a guy that's not going to play for 6 weeks, and he's a 12-year vet?
Let me ask you this, and I think I know the answer, but I'm not positive. With Gibson, sitting 6 games, he doesn't take up a roster spot, right, until they activate him after those 6 games?
That's true, and he also doesn't get paid.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean...
So it's a cheaper option.
Yeah.
But I was starting to wonder, like, do you think when they signed Gibson, do you think he's going to play? When he's
I don't think it's for sure he's going to play.
Yeah, so that's what this validates.
Well, and keep in mind, and like I don't want to wish ill will on anything, but like who's to say they just need him for a camp body and they cut him maybe like the 4th, 5th game, because you don't have to pay him anything. He's not taking up a roster spot, so you can just let him go really whenever and not really lose sleep about it.
There is something to that. I thought about that for like a split second, Austin.
Now that's cold-blooded.
Is he a camp body?
I mean, Dewey went down.
I wonder that about Amos, too. Like, these guys might be camp bodies. Because the reason I say that is there's a belief in NFL circles that finding 90 players for 32 teams is difficult. The drop-off between, we already think the drop-off between player 25 and player 45 is pretty significant. Well, how do you feel like the player 45 to 85 is?
Dude.
Or player 25 to 85, right?
So you're preaching the choir here, because I had the situation in Kansas City. When I got let go in the springtime from the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is when Gus Bradley first came in, Dave Caldwell took over as GM, I get cut. All right, cool, I'm cut. I get to sign with a new team. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs had the first dibs on the waiver wire that year, so the Chiefs brought me in. Glenn Dorsey, GM, calls me up and says, you got to gain 30 pounds in about a month and a half. Can you do it? I'm like, I mean, I really have no choice. Cool. Not like, hey, welcome to the Chiefs. Hey, you have to gain 30 pounds. Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. That was it. That was the conversation. Well, it turns out then I was playing a 3-4 defensive end. And then, and I did decently, but it wasn't my position. It wasn't what I was suited for. But then my exit interview, when I got cut, my defensive line coach goes, yeah, looking back on it, you're probably better as a 4-3 defensive end. And I go, yeah, no kidding. But I had no choice. I had to go to Kansas City, and that's what it was.
That was the opportunity.
I was the camp body because they had an injury. They let a player go. They need someone to fill the spot. I was that guy. Did I ever really have a snowflake's chance in hell of making that team? Probably not. It was way too deep. But I was the camp body, and that's what it was. So I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that's the way it is sometimes. So I wonder with Gibson if once again, if they do have some capacity where they can see him playing, or if it's just like, we had some injuries, we had to bring a guy in, won't cost us anything, let's go.
Hamby, that's a great story from Austen in this context. And let me just tell you, I've been here for 16 years. We don't usually have this kind of conversation. I don't think I've ever had this conversation because we're trying to find 45 guys that are pretty good around here, right? I'm trying to forget about 85.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a belief in NFL circles, guys, and I'm not sure you've ever thought about it this way. I quite frankly hadn't until recently, that finding even practice players that are good enough to practice against your guys that are not going to be either so bad or, and I shouldn't say so bad. They're not bad players, but on this level, they're not good enough.
Yeah.
Or that are going to get injured or something like that. Hamby, it's a harder thing, I think, than the average fan might believe.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year's Jags team almost goes against that, though, because there does seem like so many guys that are kind of on the fringe. And that maybe is it because we have more depth? But I'm looking, at the depth chart and the roster right now, and I'm thinking that, as of years past, it's like, yeah, there's like 2, 3, 4 good players normally that I'm like, man, did we actually cut him? But that's it. This year, I feel like it's going to be closer to about 10 guys between the guys in the secondary.
But I think that's my point. That's my point. You were looking for the 40th guy that was going to help you out before. And if Gibson had come here 2 years ago, he's automatically on the team and might be playing. Now you're in a position where you're like, hey, I'm going to iron sharpen iron. We could even bring this guy in. And now listen, we might need him. I'm not telling you this is just a camp body. But the back end of it is, listen, he's not going to be a starter. The only way we're going to need him at some point is if somebody get hurt or multiple people get hurt.
Of course,
the guy that was the best PFF score out of the game the other night was Terrell Edmonds.
Oh, was that it? That's what I said. It was my
92 rating.
Now I'm in sync with PFF?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I don't like that, Brent.
And then they signed.
I don't like that one bit.
I like Gibson. It's like, wait a minute. Why didn't you just sign a guy?
So
I just showed up really well. So I think it just shows to the depth, actually, Hamby, that they would bring in these veteran guys to even push more and potentially, if need be, take spots of injured guys.
This is the sad truth, and one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough in the NFL, I feel like. And anybody that's a roster body, go and listen up to me real quick. The best camp bodies, the guys that coaches want, are the guys that think they have a chance to make a team. They want guys that think they have a chance that can have an impact on a team. Even though when you look at the depth chart, unless 5, 6 players get hurt, that's not going to happen. But coaches do a great job of instilling hope when you're one of those camp bodies saying, well, if I bust my ass, I can maybe be part of this team.
Yeah.
All right? I went through it a couple times. I know all about it. It's not true, right? Because the last thing you want is a guy who's just there to collect a paycheck and knows, man, I can't make this team. It's not going to happen. Sometimes you have those internal conversations, but a coach's job during training camp, when you're bringing in guys like this, I think is to think, hey man, we have opportunity here, let's see what you can do. You work hard, you never know. You should know, but you don't. But this is what camp bodies are.
That's the business.
I'm not saying that's what Gibson is, but I'm just saying I think he could come here and say, you know what? I see this depth chart right now and maybe I have a shot.
Yeah.
I have to sit my 6 games and we'll see. But I'm not going to be surprised if they go, okay, well, training camp's done. Dewey's getting healthy. We have no spot for you.
Yeah, that's the business.
That's the business.
That's the business side of it. By the way, it's better than not having an opportunity.
No, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But it's just, it's one of the shivering truths, I think, of the NFL.
Fair enough. Don't you feel like we got to pull something from Nick today? I mean, where are we on the, you think, how many Uber rides has Nick done that we don't even know about?
Nick, what do you got for us today?
Speaking of Uber rides,
here we go.
Thinking
here we go.
2. I've only taken 2. I'm not big on Uber. I'm not big on deliveries. I'm not big on stuff like that. If I'm gonna order food,
so
I'm
do you
gonna
take a taxi? Or what are you doing?
I normally just drive. Like if I go to the airport, normally I pay for parking if I'm staying long enough. The only time I've ever taken it, in like late April, I had to go up Chattanooga and then come back down. I flew up and drove back. So I took one because I wasn't going to park the truck then. It'd be redundant to park the truck and have to go pick it back up.
Yep. Okay, well, Nick, there was that one experience when I think it was your first flight ever. I want to say you flew to Indianapolis, right? and you went to a board game convention because Human Enigma. When you landed in Indianapolis, then what was the plan? Did you just hitchhike?
No, no, I didn't hitchhike. The person I knew that I used to know in Indy, she came and picked me up, and then we hung out and whatever. For
X. Sorry. Didn't mean to bring up the. Sorry. New topic, guys. Let's go talk about Let's talk about
that was my ride.
Some more.
I don't know why he hasn't told the family about the show.
No. That's not why.
Dang. Okay. Sorry about that, dude.
Trouble.
No.
I mean, it makes it. Wait.
It's fine.
Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, she went to a board game convention. I don't think she was the one anyway, so you're good.
She won. I don't know that the one right now would. She hates board games, which is fine. She overplayed them in college.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Polar opposite.
Live feed, Nick.
I didn't know where you were going with that sentence.
Yeah.
I thought he's having one right now. So
I was about to end a relationship.
Yeah. No.
Northern sports station's doing this in town.
So
Aaron,
I'll tell you what, man. We've come full circle. We've come full circle on the board games. We play more freaking games at night now with the kids, and the kids still love them.
There's something to be said about a good board game. What's your go-to, Brent?
Well, we've been playing.
If you say Scrabble, I'm going to freak out on you.
No, we don't play Scrabble.
Okay.
We don't play Scrabble. It actually is
Monopoly
the
is pretty
older.
rough,
They
too.
try to find these new ones. So that's why I'm having trouble figuring out what the heck the name of it is. It's called. Like, they'll come up with this new. I mean, they sell. I can't believe how many games there are on shelves.
Yeah.
Like, we'll even play as little as if we want to play something quick, we'll play Yahtzee.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's something
a go-to.
We'll play, but that's
It's a
not like
go-to.
this crazy board game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what we just played up in Ohio that they were playing. There was a horse racing game, which was actually kind of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, so much so that.
He's not feeling it.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. It was actually more fun than you'd think, Cam.
A horse racing game. All right.
Right, I got to now ask the fam what the name of it is. Sorry.
Breaking. Nick in the daytime.
Your equestrian
go-to
suit
board
out there,
game.
Brent?
Go-to board game?
No, you didn't need it. It was as a poker guy, you'd actually like the game we played, I think.
Oh, okay.
Go-to board game? It's a game called Seven Wonders.
Go-to. Seven Wonders. Is that like kind of like
pick a game that nobody knows?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Anybody? No. No, it's not like D&D. So it's the Seven Wonders of the world, and you play with a board that's themed to each one, and then you build out this board of like science, religion, the current resources of the time and whatnot, and you just build up from that.
I wonder why your girlfriend doesn't like those games. She's definitely turned off.
Get him, Brent. So is it kind of like Trivia Pursuit where they ask like questions regarding each
Austin.
wonder?
Is it like
other way? Sorry. Eventually, I'm get the hang of this.
Trivial Pursuit? No.
Well,
not at all.
Well, you said the Seven Wonders. So, like, do they ask questions regarding like religion and stuff like that?
No. It's you're like building the society around this. It doesn't ask a question.
Oh, cool. A lot of imagination sounds like with this game.
So no, it's a strategy game. It's not an imagination game. This isn't Pictionary.
Okay.
This isn't whatever one of those. I mean, those are fun too. I can't think of the other one. There's another one but yeah, the go-to is Seven Wonders, but I don't have it anymore. I've got others that I have.
Hamby,
Wingspan's
can you
a fun one.
Can you give us a board game you've actually heard of, or what is your go-to board game?
How about just good old Monopoly?
What is
That's too long, though.
Play board games.
That's too long, though. That's a long one. I mean, unless we're playing Monopoly Junior, get in, get out. I'm not playing Monopoly for 5 days straight.
As this topic comes up, it's like, see, we live in different spaces of board games. Like, I do think more board games, Monopoly, Pictionary.
Sure.
What's that, Taboo? Or
yeah.
That's a fun one to play. Like, that's where my head goes. But, like, it feels like Nick goes into these
he's
deeper
role-playing and, like, kind of thing.
How about you? Where do you go?
I mean, I grew up with Pictionary, and that ruined more Thanksgivings for our family than anything. I mean, so you think I'm kidding? Like, I had cousins storm out. I've had aunts, like, go back and forth. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was bad.
What happened? Oh, well, it was an intense game of Pictionary.
No, for real. I mean, it was like a yearly thing, and like my aunt would, or I think it was like my great aunt would bring it out, and like, let's play. And it's like, remember, it happened last year, but we always played, and then we always got in fights. So that was fun. But no, I'm trying to think of like, as a kid, it was Candyland, but then
Mari.
I kind of lost those privileges because I'm very competitive, as you may know, Brent, and I used to play with my mom all the time. But one time I got caught in that molasses swamp for way too long, and I felt a certain type of way about it, and I ended up like kind of pushing the board. So then I had to learn about controlling my rage and my anger a little bit.
I got one other experiment I'm working on, guys, right here. So I'm trying to find the name of the game that we're
Brent
playing
Austen
in
board
Ohio.
game.
That'd be good.
Okay.
And so I just texted Kaylee while we were talking about this. I'm like, what was the name of that game? Mm-hmm. Kaylee will probably not text me back. I'm just texted Steph. Like, I bet she texts within 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand why my kids don't text back. Like,
too cool for school, Brent.
Snapchat. Like, you have to Snapchat. Like,
wait, you have to Snapchat your kids?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it is.
It takes them 4 days to get back on texts.
Do you have Snapchat, Brent? You do. Because the kids.
I have, but I don't do it. Like, Steph actually communicates with Kaylee now through Snapchat.
Huh. So, like, when you communicate with somebody, is it just like a texting thing, or is it like you have to take a video and be like dancing, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then
they have fun with the goofy filters.
Dougie it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is kind of fun, but I'm like, I need information. I don't need to Snapchat. I need
Yeah.
But again, I go to the young corner here, the kids corner. I'm like, I mean, you guys just don't. Like, I know Hamby doesn't look at emails very often. I figured that out.
Well, I have 100,000 of them on standby.
But he does text. Like, you text pretty quick, Hamby, and so do you, Nick.
Yeah, but
I'm trying.
I have 1,000 unread text messages right now.
Oh,
do you really?
Yeah. Other than a hand.
I'm at 300, Brent.
Other than a handful of people.
Don't even let me look at it.
Brent
I don't even want to look at it.
It might take me a day or two.
How do you have 1,300 unread text messages?
1,016.
Well, hang on.
Emails.
Yeah. So right now the emails. Oh, by the way, did you know that when you have a Gmail, it can actually like fill up to 100%, and you have to like start deleting things?
It actually does happen.
So I'm getting there. I'm at 98%. So I better start deleting some pictures.
Well,
and
they
stuff.
also have like a new tier if you want to buy more.
Oh, I'm
Just
sure.
To keep those unread.
Is this one of those Elon Musk things again? So I have 123,082 unread emails.
It's not that bad.
And the cloud went silent.
And I've got the shakes.
Brent's triggered right now.
Like, Nick, give me something. Give me something. You have any red on your phone, Nick?
I mean, the emails, there's an old email that I don't really use anymore that's just attached to stuff. It's got like 10K on it, but I wipe it out every once in a while, and it just like 10,000 in a month. And I'm like, why is this doing this to me? Otherwise, text messages,
I have very little red on my phone.
I view texts as an immediate conversation that's like always continuing, so I have to respond to them, and I don't like taking forever. So I have no unread
Hall of
text
Famer
messages.
Steph did not disappoint. She got back.
She knows the name.
Horse racing and Sounds Fishy was the fun one. You guys try that.
Wait,
Sounds Fishy.
but the board game's called Horse Racing?
Yes, that sounded goofy. But
Yeah, okay.
Sounds Fishy was a fun one.
Sounds fishy. Okay.
I think you guys would like it.
Is that a card game?
By the way, a couple of pops. You'll even like that even more. It's for all ages.
Okay, nice, Brent. Keep selling it. Let's go. Let's get the advertisers on this. I like this.
Like, that would be even more fun.
Yesterday was Hey Dudes. Today it's Sounds Fishy. I like it.
Sounds Fishy.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a better chance of selling Hey Dudes.
Everyone's getting yeah, a little bit.
All right. Hey, we got to take another time out. We'll come back. We'll get back to some football as we look toward the Jags game. What do you look at? Just name a player or two or three, and maybe we'll pay it off next week, only if we're right. I think we did okay on that last week, actually. Some of the guys that we had noted, like Hank Bigsby. And,
yep.
Again, that draft class from 2023, can they stack it up? I think a lot of those guys will play.
And keep in mind, I think my player of the game last week was Mims, and that turned out really well. Did he get on the field? Okay, no, it's fine. Dude, because you know me, I'm going to own up to what I said.
Yeah, he might have a good chance to play this weekend. He has been pretty good at practice. After the game,
has he? Because he's not playing in the game. So
yeah, maybe he has. At 2 o'clock today, we'll have Marty Lee from the First Coast Bucks. So really, just kick off our high school stuff today with After the Game. If you haven't caught it, 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock tonight on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. There it is. Sounds fishy. I'm telling you, you're gonna like it.
A real family favorite for us. That's the tagline. It's a real family favorite for us.
Yeah.
Who's us?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did they spell favorite like, is this? They spelled it like the European way, I think.
Oh, is this like a European game?
It must be.
Ah, man.
But Or that's just in a European ad. I think that's how they spell it over there. We'll be back. We're live from Bozard Ford, Lincoln, and St. Augustine, having some fun. Time to go get some steak.
Let's go.
We'll be right back. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket, and while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. a full menu, made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
All right, welcome back here to Bozard Ford, Lincoln, and St. Augustine. Never know what you're going to get on Fridays now. Duval Jags. Nick, next time you have to lie on air about the friend who picked you up at the airport, then tell the guys the truth off air. You got to know how to play the game, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude broke all the rules there. I mean.
Nick didn't ask to get into any of this. Just
True.
to let you know. Hamby did have to get in.
Oh, yeah. This is what Hamby signed up for.
When Hamby can't, add 4 + 6, it's fair game.
This is what you signed up for, sir. Yeah, I mean, we talk about Nick. I mean, we're changing his whole way of life here, I feel like, sometimes.
Well,
we're changing the family life, his upbringing.
Sometimes you got to tell people they got a future in something if they don't know.
True. Right? Listen, I've been a big
unearthing Nick.
I've been a big Nick advocate, have I not, Brent? I've been praising him up. I've been putting him on a pedestal. It's not my fault he keeps trying to put himself back down, bringing up X's and stuff on the show. What are we doing?
Speaking of, Hamby's doing a great job today. We've had bullets flying everywhere.
Yeah, man. Hamby's holding it down.
So doing a great job. I was saying this about Nick. If Nick had a Twitter handle, he could just put his Twitter handle up and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Nick doesn't have Twitter?
I don't know. I don't know if he does. I haven't found him yet.
Okay.
If he does. So one other thing, I just got a gentleman over here I said, what's your favorite game? He said, Ticket to Ride.
I've heard of this one. Never played it, but I have heard Ticket to Ride, yes.
All right, he said it's great. It's something to do with the train?
Yep, that sounds about right, yes.
Okay. Yep. All right, so there we go. New board games.
Cool.
It is amazing to me. There are some things in life that amaze me that are still the same when I was 7 years old. And when you go to a Target or a Walmart and you see this whole row of board games, and they look exactly the same, it stuns me. Now, there are some that have kind of gone into the digital world as well, right? There are just some games that have kind of morphed into technology and kind of rode the wave, but there are others that just haven't. And they're still being sold and are popular.
That's cool. It
is cool. I think it's a good thing. It's just there are not many of those.
No, listen, in a world of every single app possible, Candy Crush, the Pokemon Go, it's I don't know. There's something. I mean, it's one of the last few things that you can kind of have what you grew up with.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
A little connection to yesteryear.
A little nostalgia, if you will.
Yeah. Brent Martineau Austen Lane, Jason Hamby. All right, guys. So I've got another segment or so, and then I have to go to a production meeting with Doug Peterson and some of the Jags for the broadcast tomorrow. So we got a lot going on, along with high school football starting up. But you guys have some fun topics still to come until 1 o'clock. I'm not sure this one's going to be fun or not.
What a tease.
Sorry. But I do think it's a little Jag-centric of who do you have your eyes on? Last week, I thought a guy like DJ Coleman came out of that game, and I keep seeing 54 making plays. We just had a conversation with Chad Muma. Muma, I don't think everybody was talking about Saturday night, but by Sunday and Monday, people were like, hey, man, Muma was making a lot of plays. I think you said, Mims, it's in that part of the roster, but are we seeing Elijah Cook separate a little bit? Yeah. I think we might be starting to see that separation where it might be Elijah Cooks and everybody after that really has an uphill battle to even make this team and to get on there. Jags might just keep 6 players at the receiver position. So all that being, I think I had said take Bigsby last week, and Bigsby building confidence. Check the box, man. He built it. Hamby, to be honest with you, I can't remember exactly the guy you were trying to watch last week. But I also don't even know if you were on the show last week with us on Friday when we were doing this. So let's start with you. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long week. Let's start with you and say
Hamby had Tank Bigsby.
Oh, he had Bigsby?
I'm pretty sure Hamby had Tank Bigsby. Yes.
I thought I had Bigsby, but it's okay.
Well, no, because there was a time where you left and then Whatever. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did because I had the production meeting last. Yeah, so you guys were probably doing a similar thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with you, Hamby. What do you got? You can give a couple players. Just don't name the whole roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe an offense and defensive guy to keep an eye on tomorrow. And we don't think most of the starters are going to play. I don't know that.
Okay.
I know Trevor's not playing. And we know guys like Linder, Sheriff, and like a Morse likely aren't going to play.
Yeah, but my big question before we get this whole thing started, what about the linebackers?
See, I think Foyer won't play. He hardly played last week.
No, yeah.
But I think that Devin Lloyd could be playing.
Okay.
And the movements of the world. I wonder if an Anton Harrison's going to play since he didn't last week. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't have those answers for you yet. But I think we have to go in with the idea that most of the main starters are not going to play. So this conversation starts with maybe a couple of starters, but also the middle of the roster.
Gotcha.
So go ahead, Hamby. What you got?
I think on the defensive side, I'm going to be keying in on the two rookies on the line, LSU guys, Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, just because I think that right now there are guys on the defensive line that are better than them that will be cut because of obviously their draft stock. You can't invest in them and cut them, and that's part of the game. You make the team based off of your potential. But and Mason Smith's still not a guy that we've seen a lot about. We've well chronicled how little he played in college and how little tape there is on him. So just looking forward to seeing both of those guys kind of equally, and how much time they get. Because, obviously, if Devon Hamilton doesn't play, Roy barely plays, you're going to get a lot of DJ Coleman, Ledbetter, and those two guys, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to seeing those two guys. And then real quickly on the offensive end, it's not a surprise by any means, but I'll take Parker Washington because, Kirk's going to be out. I feel like we could say relatively strongly.
Yeah, he's out.
There's no way he plays. And then maybe Gabe doesn't play too. So I feel like you're going to get a full half of Parker Washington, perhaps being the feature guy, depending on if Evan Ingram plays, but he might be the guy. And what can he do with it? So.
For me, one on offense, one on defense. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So on defense, go ahead and let's go ahead and re-up again. Let's go ahead and go with Terrell Edmonds.
Oh,
because he put one great game together. Definitely, with injuries, I think is kind of on the back side of the roster a little bit. But if you can put two great games, and when I say great, like I said, I think he was my player of the game. And then for whatever reason, Chris Collinsworth and PFF decided to agree with me, which that is what it is. But dude, I'm so disappointed in myself with that because you know how I feel about PFF, right? And now we're on the same page. Yeah.
Okay.
But
it was just a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Okay. But I'm going to watch Terrell Edmonds some more. Can he build off that first game? And can it almost be a point where it's like, I'm too good to cut? Like, I understand maybe I'm on the backside. You bring in a guy like Gibson, but guess what? I'm out here making plays. You can't cut me. I'm too good to cut. So I'll be watching that. And then offense, until I see something from him, it's going to be Brenton Stranger Things because we haven't seen anything from this guy really at camp, I feel like. We haven't seen a lot in the first preseason game. I think he had one play? Or they tried to go to him once or something?
Yeah, that was the play that I stuck up for him a little bit because he was open. CJ just missed him. It would have been that drag route would have been a nice probably 18, 20-yard gain. Yeah. And he actually played well in practice this week. I think he started to pop a little bit. So it's a good thought on Brenton Strange. Is he going to emerge? Because I do think there's a nice little conversation. We've had it. Mm-hmm. I think I was having it this week with some other folks. I'm like, okay, is this a Brenton Strange issue where he's not getting on, or is this a Doug thing where he's not utilizing him enough? I don't know where that is.
We don't know where it is, and I think ideally you want to use two tight ends here in some of these formations. So who's the second tight end going to be? Can Brenton Strange finally step up a little bit and show that, where he was drafted can pan out? It should be a big game for him against Tampa.
Yeah, I think that, the nice part about this conversation is, as we're picking this almost spontaneously, is there's a lot of ways you can go. And so I've 3 times changed my defensive player. And I'm going to come back to this one. Because now I believe he's one of the most fascinating players of the month. And that's Christian Braswell. I thought they totally stuck him at that nickel spot just for fun. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if they should do that. That's not very nice. But,
let's see what happens.
This is a depth chart that looks a little goofy on paper. Yeah. Right? They're they're being coy in some respects. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Braswell was hurt most of last year, didn't do much. Well, guess what? People have their attention on 21. They're looking at him making plays, not just on the field. And that play wowed people. You even had the defensive coordinator get up on the podium and talk about a play that actually didn't count.
Yeah,
and he was like, that was a heck of a play now.
Yeah,
and he was, you could, I don't know what level of excitement Nielsen is yet. We haven't been around him enough. But you could tell he was excited, Austin, because he was excited about the eye. He even said, he's like, look at the whole play.
Yeah.
He's like, he recovered. He rips the ball, shows strength there to do that, heads up to do that. And then what he liked the most is they turned defense into offense. The entire team turned it into offense where they scored.
Yeah.
Again, a play that didn't count.
No, but it was definitely one of those proud parent moments.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I agree with you there. It's interesting.
So can he stack and actually be a factor here? Because in our minds, it's like, okay, where's Darnell Savage playing? Where's Antonio Johnson playing? Jarian Jones is, I think, interesting because is he the guy that's going to be left behind this rookie year because all these other guys are elevating, and now your third-round pick isn't going to play, so we're going to be critical of that because he's not even getting on the field. But is it really because of the success story of a guy like Christian Braswell, who was like a 6th-round pick last year? Like, is that a bad thing or not? I don't know, but we're talking development. That's a sign of development. And then the other guy that actually caught my attention, and I don't know if it was just because there was fun back and forth in the broadcast with Maurice Jones-Drew, is Jalen Jackson, the running back, the last guy in. And so here's where I'm getting to, and I don't know this. I'm just curious about this. We know it's going to be Etienne and Bigsby.
Yes.
D'Ernest Johnson's a very good special teams player, and obviously a guy who's been around the league. I think he's done some nice things with Jacksonville. He's the third guy for me right now, but what I don't know is will personnel be shifted because of the new kickoff rule to render a guy like Johnson a little less valuable on special teams?
Yeah.
I don't know that answer.
Yeah.
I just think he's a candidate to be a victim of that answer in another way. It used to be an attribute, like reason he's on the team, reason they liked him was because of special teams. Could it be what he does so well on special teams doesn't necessarily fit under this new kickoff umbrella?
That's true.
So I don't know if he fits there. And if that is the case, a guy like Keelan Robinson, who was brought into special teams, hasn't even played this game. Like, he is not going to be on the – I think they're going to try to stash him on the practice squad. Like how – or there's an injury thing or whatever, but he's done like nothing. So that brings in Jalen Jackson, who I thought, did a pretty good job. Now, you're doing that in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
Against the back end of the roster.
Yeah.
But is there a sneaky way? Now, this is also a guy people have talked about all camp. Flashing plays, flashing.
Yeah.
Is he a guy that can maybe find a spot on the roster with a guy like Keelan Robinson hurt and maybe D'Ernest Johnson, who's a little bit more expensive, and I know it's moderately more expensive, maybe getting his role changed a bit because of the new kickoff rule?
Well, let's be careful talking about Jalen Jackson because I do agree with you. I think there's a lot to like about him, and we know Titans fans are probably watching. They're probably going to be in the market for a new running back, so we don't want the Titans to kind of come in and scoop him off the practice squad if we stash him there. So we got to be careful how we talk about him. But I will say this. I feel like the running back position, I can't give a lot of examples, but you can always find the diamonds in the rough, I feel like, at the running back position. And he very well could be one of those guys. So, I think there's a lot to like here. Now, once again, if you're going against 3s and 4s, maybe anybody could look good, Brent. You could probably run for 20 yards on a play, depending on the offensive line and everything.
Maybe.
But maybe. You think so?
No.
Okay, I was going to say probably not, actually. I was trying to give you some credit, and you went along with it a little too much. I didn't like that. But, no, I think Jalen Jackson could definitely be an intriguing guy. Do you go for the more experience with like a D'Ernest Johnson, a guy who's done it for a while, maybe has some tread, that's wearing off those tires, or do you go with a new guy in Jackson?
I think D'Ernest Johnson's still the guy here. I'm not trying to start something.
Sure.
I'm just wondering with the injury and is he one that we might not think about under that new rule and everything else? I really don't have a good feel for it yet. Maybe something I ask a little bit about. But Jalen Jackson's story. Is it something? And so he's a guy, this is what these games are for. Remember now, this game right now, I think on Saturday, is basically like that old last preseason game. It's the most equivalent to that because the Jags starters are going to play a little bit next week.
Yep.
So now they're not going to play as long as like the old third preseason game where that was the one they went into like the second half.
Correct.
But this is the one where guys like Jalen Jackson are probably going to get their best crack at it.
Let me ask you this: do they make cuts after this game, or is it all just one giant cut now? It's all one cut now. Okay,
all one cut now.
Okay,
so you still got a couple weeks to figure that out.
Okay,
obviously
I like that.
Injuries factor in.
Yeah,
like their draft pick Keelan Robinson come back at all and make a how do they feel about that? I'm not trying to oversell Jalen Jackson. I just think that's the guy we're going to get a look at. I would think another player here that I didn't want to say him because I had just mentioned him. I think Elijah Cooks, he's like a game away or another big performance away from really slamming the door on that spot.
Okay.
In my opinion.
And when you say slamming the door on that spot, you mean like probably like the last wide receiver? Yeah.
The top 5 are there.
Of course.
Like I like what
we know
he
who
said.
they are.
I'm looking at Parker Washington as now as well.
Yeah.
A guy's making plays on the field in practice this week. He was making plays last week.
Yeah.
They've been raving about him. Yeah. I think all eyes are on Parker Washington. And he's going to get a big chance. Like, he makes you feel okay right now and not freak out about an injury to Christian Kirk because of the way he's been playing.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's going to make you feel that way, Hamby, in 3 weeks against Miami. I mean, I want to see Kirk there. But that's the kind of camp that Parker Washington has had. And that's the kind of year he's had so far. That you're all of a sudden, you're like, I mean, all right, we got to get that guy in the field. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing, Hamby.
Well, it's not, but it sounds like, according to this 33rd team article that we may or may not get into, that Christian Kirk is just fine. So it really doesn't matter who the Jags tried out there, according to them, because our wide receiver weapons are just 23rd best in the National Football League.
Yeah, this was, and you
That's
guys, I don't know if you want to talk about that. I got to get
okay.
Go. You guys can talk about it. I was stunned by that. They were I was stunned. They were 22nd in the league. It's not. It's not the 22nd.
Yeah.
Would you say the Jags have the worst receiving core in the division? That's what they said.
And no, I understand, but I'm also seeing where they're coming from a national standpoint. You have Christian Kirk last year, who played in how many games? Okay, you have a rookie wide receiver who's coming in we know nothing about, and then on the other side of things, you have Gabe Davis, who has never gone over 1,000 yards receiving. I don't think.
No.
Okay. So that's what we have.
Yeah, but I think they're dismissing Kirk a little bit there.
Sure, but once again, they're just looking at last season, what it looked like, and he got hurt. And we're not. Keep in mind, tight ends weren't included in this thing either, so we're not including Evan Ingram in this list. So I'm not like.
I was a little surprised at 22.
Okay.
I saw another ranking on I think ESPN ranked all position groups, and by the way, the Jags came in pretty nice on all but the offensive line.
Okay.
They were top 15 in every category.
Yeah.
And their receiving core, I think, was 13th. And I was like, okay, that seems to fit at least what my impression of it is. But one more thought on it. I talked to somebody outside of Jacksonville this summer who was like, this receiving core, you have to ask yourself, are you even better than it was last year when you had Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley? Mm-hmm. With Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. replacing them.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at it in that context, that is a fair question. Can you buy the upside of all the rest? Absolutely. I'll buy the upside of BTJ for the next 5, 6, 7 years with the Calvin Ridley conversation we had yesterday.
Of course.
But for right now, if you take Ridley and Zay out and you put Gabe and Brian Thomas Jr. in, are you better? Mm-hmm. That was the story. And I think that's why you see a ranking like this at 22. It's probably a fair thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fair thought. And once again, I didn't see the entire list. I know Green Bay was actually surprisingly ranked pretty high, which
I thought of you on that.
Which I was really surprised on that one. But once again, when you talk about we know what Christian Kirk is, right? And yeah, he got hurt last year, but I don't think the national media appreciates what Christian Kirk does for Jacksonville.
I agree.
And it is hard to sit here and say, do we expect Brian Thomas Jr. to go out there and get 1,200 yards receiving, 7, 8 touchdowns? We'll see.
Friday nights are good for pizza. Donatos.com. Jack's Pizza in Mandarin. Use code Brent20, and you get 20% off Donato's Pizza. We will take a timeout here on the Brent and Austen Show and on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Caleb Williams diet.
Yeah. Well, and also on this list, were the Pats last with now Javon Baker and everything? Were they 33rd?
You should ask,
bro.
I'll ask that when you come back.
I'll ask Hamby that. No problem. Yep.
We'll take a break. Be right back here on the Brent Austen Show. We're live at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. New to town or always been in town? Everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza. Some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning. And mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service. A meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
place is going to be rocking tomorrow night. Everbank Stadium, going to be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not expecting a lot of the starters to be playing, but still be some storylines nonetheless. One of the biggest ones obviously being Mac Jones versus CJ Beathard. I think it's going to be a half versus a half. Do we know, is Mac Jones getting the first half and CJ Beathard's getting the second half? Do we know that yet?
Oh, man. I think that's what we're guessing, but I don't think we've had official word from Dougie P.
Yeah. Probably, okay, so maybe waiting for Doug to clarify that a little bit. Probably a great question I should have asked Brent when he was here for the past hour and a half, but it just dawned on me. But we are at Bozard Ford in Lincoln today off St. Augustine. When I first got here, I talked to the people a little bit because, keep in mind, we talk about Bozard, you're talking about Bozard built. They do custom work for your trucks and all your vehicles. And the cool thing about it is it's not just like, all right, we're going to add, like a tailgate here or give you some new rims. It's like almost like a lifestyle thing where you tell them what you're into and they kind of cater off that. And, obviously MMA fighter, I'm pretty unique. What else did I tell them? Oh, obviously I like to go to the beach as well. So I'm very excited to see what they got for me. I just saw that Liz had her Lincoln and she had it's like a massage chair. Didn't mention the recovery aspect. I just said that, I train hard and everything, and I like to go to the beach. Should have mentioned more, too, of, hey, I also like to chill and relax a little bit. Maybe got that massage chair built in there, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm still excited to see what they got for me. And, hopefully my son will be a little more excited getting picked up from school in one of these Bozard trucks as opposed to my station wagon, which I currently have.
You would think. And if he's not, then...
You would think.
Then we got issues.
Well, that's the thing. So I used to have a truck before he was born, and I had it at 26s and everything. I had it all souped up, and then little man was born, and then to have a car seat and everything in it, wasn't really economical. So then that's when I downgraded for the family, if you will, and got a station wagon. But it's more, I call it a sport wagon, but it's a station wagon nonetheless. So, yeah, now he's to the point where he's 9 going on 20 years old because he's that big, where I feel like I can bring one of these big Bozard trucks there, and he can just jump on in, man, won't have any issues. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Did you get a car when you were in high school?
Yeah, so I had a couple of vehicles in high school. I actually had a Lincoln Continental, 1979 Lincoln, for my first car. It was like 20-something feet long, and then the first day, because it's an old car, paid I think $1,700 for it. And the first day I got my license, took it out, and the brakes went onto that. So that was fun.
Seriously?
Yeah, yep. Got my license. I picked up my dude Griff. We were cruising around. Thought I was the coolest guy in town. Pulled into a parking lot because there's some of my friends hanging out in the parking lot. I'm like, you guys got to check this car out. And I pull in, and the brakes wouldn't work. So then, in 16-year-old Austen Lane fashion, I started to panic a little bit, and I started just doing donuts because I didn't know how to stop because I didn't dawn on me to, hey, just turn the ignition off. So I was doing donuts in the parking lot, wondering how I'm going to stop. My boy Griff jumped out when the car was doing donuts because he didn't want to be a part of what was going to happen if I crashed. So he actually jumped out of the passenger side door and rolled out of it. And then I'm just doing donuts, and eventually I hit an embankment. And then the cops got called because somebody thought I was actually joyriding in town, because that's what happens in small town Wisconsin. You see somebody doing donuts, you got to call the cops. But I had a good excuse. My brakes went out and nothing became of it, and my brakes got fixed.
Okay. That's
needless to say, my Lincoln Continental, my 79 Lincoln Continental, was not Bozard built, Hamby.
No, it wasn't. That's insane. That was your first day out.
That was my first day of having my driver's license.
Monumental
my brakes
day
went out.
Just comes down to a literal crashing defeat.
Yep, but you know what, though? I think it kind of built character in me, right? Oh. Because then, I go through that experience. It can't be worse than that. Your brakes going out. So I'm almost like a Vin Diesel now in Fast and Furious, where I'm a pretty confident driver, even in the state of Florida, where it seems pretty chaotic sometimes.
That's true. Yeah.
What was your first car you had?
I drove I bought my mother's 2004 Honda CR-V off of for a reduced rate.
Anytime you can start a sentence with "I bought my mother's," it's always going to be a quality vehicle. Okay,
Yeah, man.
And you had that all through high school and college and everything. How'd that work?
I had it through for over a year, and then my dad, who had a 06 Honda Accord, he upgraded as well. So then I upgraded to his. So I went from 04 to 06 to finish high school, and I had that through college. And
are we talking just is it automatic or a stick shift?
Both were automatic. 0 AC.
Okay.
Trunk wouldn't open. Just so many, and those were not inherited problems. Those just happened to happen. Within me starting months before I started driving it. So I'm not trying to play the blame game or anything. It was fine when I got it.
Yeah, no. Don't want to point any fingers, but yeah, it's obvious what happened there. Brent kind of teased this a little bit before I cut him off because we were talking about your boy Javon Baker, and we got to address that real quick. So, who was the comparison that you had again for your dude from UCF now on the Patriots? Who was the comparison?
Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry McLaurin. Now, keep in mind, it's been a while since I remember, Terry McLaurin's first NFL training camp, but I feel like they weren't getting on him about dropping the ball and not catching the easy ones like it seems to be happening right now for your boy Baker.
Okay,
Hamby,
that's
your
just
thoughts
not
about
the
your
case.
I mean, we can go right to the tweet here, Hamby. If you just give me a second, I can bring that up for you.
I'm watching the video on repeat right now. It's a very catchable football. It is one that he should have 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
But there is a dive. He's leaving his feet, and this is not a drop over the middle on a slant route that hits him right in the hands. He beats his receiver on a deep post.
Ben Volin from the Patriots beat reporter says that beautiful deep ball by Drake May. Javon Baker's got to catch that one. You hate to see it, Hamby. You hate to see it so early on in his career. Hopefully he can rebuild his confidence a little bit.
I mean, obviously you hate to see it because he has been having a great training camp. He makes that play. You're like, holy cow, this guy actually might be, featured in their offense because they have nobody left. Speaking of, in that little article that we were kind of mentioning earlier that had the Jags with the 22nd best receivers, the Patriots were dead last.
Yeah.
So Javon Baker.
Really? Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he had a nice third down conversion, nice route. But prior to that deep ball drop, so he didn't have it's not like he dropped multiple passes. He had one drop on a diving play that did hit him in the hands. He's still looking good.
Okay.
And he's still going to put up Terry McLaurin's type numbers in the first 2-3 years of his career.
Okay, well, let's go from catching passes to actually throwing passes here. Caleb Williams, a guy that's got all the hype, the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. I think Vegas has it right now at even odds that the Chicago Bears can actually go to the playoffs, which, hey, in my lifetime is almost unheard of, I feel like, when you play in a division with the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, but a lot of hype with Caleb Williams. And a story came out last week saying how he's actually confided in the GOAT himself, Mr. Tom Brady, and has fully fledged got on Tom Brady's TB12 diet. Now, I shared this in the group, and here's what we're going to do, Hamby. We're going to have a little exercise.
Okay.
We're going to go through all of Tom Brady's requirements, the GOAT's requirements, if you will, of what goes into his diet, and we're going to see if we can actually stay up to date with this diet, or if we just say, white flag, we're out, Tom Brady, sorry, man, you are the GOAT, but I can't stick with you on this one. So you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do we have the list on the screen?
Yeah, you can see
Fantastic. All right. Yes, so go ahead and start reading because it's a little hard for me to see. So go ahead and start reading what the Tom Brady diet includes.
Yeah. So our first thing is dairy. So we have milk, cheese, yogurt, or ice cream.
Okay, so you can't have milk, cheese, yogurt, or ice cream. No dairy. I could do this one, Hamby, because I'm not a big milk guy anymore. I mean, as a kid I was. Cheese is rough. Being from Wisconsin, it's almost in my blood. Like, literally, if you cut me open, I might start bleeding some cheese a little bit. But I feel like there's, almond cheese. There's different types of cheeses. It doesn't have to be dairy cheese. Yogurt I'm okay on, and ice cream is one of my favorite desserts, but I think I'll be all right. So the first one I'm okay. How you feeling with it?
Yeah, the cheese is a tough one. I'm all good, all set on yogurt. Not a milk drinker. Ice cream every now and again, but could definitely do without. So I'm chilling.
Okay, so far so good. We're still on that GOAT status, if you will.
Yeah. So then we got no beers,
okay,
wine,
give us the second
or
one.
any alcoholic beverages.
See, I have a hard time believing that Tom Brady throughout his entire career never drank a beer or had a sip of wine or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, isn't that kind of hard to fathom?
I feel like this is maybe just in-season regimen because there's no way he maintains his 365.
I mean, he's the GOAT for a reason, though, Hamby. He might. I have no problem
bro,
with
we
this
saw
one.
him after the Super Bowl parade.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was crushing. Yeah, you're right, because he almost like fell in the lake in Tampa Bay because he had one too many tequilas. I feel like so.
Yeah, he
so
was
this is in
overindulged.
season. And as someone who is going through his fight camp right now, who I limit myself to 0 alcohol, I have no problem doing this one at all.
Yeah,
I don't need beer. I've never had a full glass of wine because I guess I'm like a Neanderthal when it comes to that. So I'm all good. I'm good with phase 2. You?
Yep. No issues here whatsoever. So
all right. Let's to the third one.
All right, we got bacon, sausages, deli meats, red meat should also be avoided.
I'm out.
Yep.
I'm out. That's it. Yep. Sorry.
Thanks for playing.
Yep. That's it.
Tell your friends.
Thanks for playing. I guess I'm not going to be eligible for GOAT status because if you're going to cut out steak out of my diet, you got another thing coming. And bacon on the weekends, what are we talking about here?
I'm just signing up for the mediocre life.
Listen, how can... I get there's ways to get protein, right? You got your beans, you got your protein shakes, all that stuff. But you mean to tell me a nice, juicy, succulent steak isn't going to touch your taste buds every once in a while, Tom Brady? You're out of your mind. Why? So is this where you stop right here? You stop with the meat?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all of those things are almost daily parts of... I mean, all I had for lunch this week, as you well know, is ground beef.
It's ground beef in a cup. Yep, in a cup.
Well, I was just wanting to say it was ground beef. I didn't want to say how, but...
Well, tell it how you ate it. You ate ground beef out of a cup, Hamby, okay?
True,
Don't lie to our listeners, okay?
I'm proud of it.
They come to us for the truth. Okay, well, let's go to the next one, then let's see if we can kind of rebound here a little bit. We got breads, pastas, cereals, and baked goods.
Yeah, see ya. Dude, hey, I got to be honest with you.
How you get your energy?
I got to be honest with you. I'm a sucker
what do you got?
for a baked good, bro.
Is he talking like donuts and stuff?
Oh, or you want to throw a muffin?
Yeah, anything, right?
Or a hot
a muffin's good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing, too, because I've taken the test at the UFC Institute. They had, like, this thing where you have to breathe through this tube for 20 minutes, but you can't fall asleep. You just got to lay there, which was a challenge in itself. But, like, I found out that I burn, like, 60% of the things that I burn are carbs. So, like, I need carbs. I'm not going Tim Tebow. I'm not going keto. So, yeah, I can't do this one either because I need some sort of carbohydrate. Tom, I'm not a quarterback. I fight for a living, okay? I need my energy. Sorry, dude. So I'm not on that one as well. What do you have for the next one?
We got pre-packaged snacks, chips, and cookies.
Chips are definitely like my comfort food, like my go-to, just the saltiness and everything. But if I had to become the GOAT, I could live without snacks, chips, and cookies.
Yeah, if I have to, I'm good.
In camp. Yep. Well, what's the next one?
White sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and refined sugars.
My son is definitely out because he pounds prime hydration drinks like they're going out of style. I mean, I'm trying to think like what I eat with like refined sugar. I could do that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm saying when I'm on night shift, I got no shot because I'm relying heavily on Coca-Cola. That is.
Yep.
So other than that, maybe I have a shot, but when I'm,
we're good
I'm
there.
Steady diet at the vending machine when I'm working nights.
cakes, pastries, and candies wouldn't be easy for me, but I could definitely do it. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll go a little faster as we take a break.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wheat, rye, and barley. I mean, what else is it? Like that's I guess you can eat rice, can't you?
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had to do it and just like eat rice every day.
So here's what I
could do it.
Here's what I kind of want to. I don't know. The question is, what can you have other than straight chicken?
You're eating a lot of that's a better question, Hamby, because you can't eat tomatoes, you can't eat eggplants, can't eat peppers, can't even eat potatoes, which I feel like sweet potatoes are packed full of nutrients.
No beans, no fruit, or packaged fruit
No
juices
coffee.
and certain fruits. Yeah,
no
man,
energy drinks. Yeah, so basically what you're looking at every day is it's the Greg Jones diet, and I've talked about Greg Jones a bunch on this show. A former fullback, had the body of a G.I. Joe, and when I say a G.I. Joe, I'm not talking about like one of like the henchmen. I'm talking like the main Duke G.I. Joe. Guy was ripped to the gills, and all he ate every single day, I don't know how he gained weight, was he would eat like 3 chicken breasts, broccoli, and then like a small cup of rice. And that's what this Tom Brady diet is essentially saying.
How can you get everything from that?
Couldn't do it, could you, Hamby?
No.
Well, obviously it's working, Hamby. The guy's won how many Super Bowls?
I know, but there's a little bit. I feel like there's a little bit more to life, man. I gotta have a baked good every now and again.
Okay, all right. So then here's the question, and here's the question for the chat too.
Golly.
For an opportunity to win 6 Super Bowls, or 7, whatever the case may be, would you sacrifice all the stuff that we just mentioned, and would you live the Tom Brady lifestyle if you were going to be considered the GOAT?
Oh, dude, if it's a guarantee that if I maintain that regiment, because here's the thing, you got to remember, he didn't maintain that for his whole career. You know?
No, there's no way. He was going hog wild in Tampa Bay, and he still won. Yeah.
Well, no, and all the way back, we saw his draft combine picture. That's not chicken, rice, and broccoli.
Well, no, he wasn't doing this in college, but one would think once he got to New England, like year 2 or year 3, the guy was going all out. So okay,
if I got to do that for 10 years, then I get...
Okay, so let's make this a little more relatable. Take being a quarterback in the NFL out of it. We'll say if you follow the Tom Brady plan and you're guaranteed to be the top at your position of what you do for work, would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it.
You would do it?
Yeah, I would do it.
What? Okay, so like in your eyes, what is like the top position for you? You'd be like at, I don't know, like the national news pushing buttons? Like what are you trying to parlay this into?
I don't know. I feel like,
your own talk show?
Well, if I could just do play-by-play,
little Anderson Cooper
at the shoot, no, get me out of news. You get me calling Dogs games play-by-play for the rest of my life, and just doing that for one season in the fall and having the rest of the year off. I think I'd maintain that diet, no problem.
See, Hamby, I feel like if you followed this diet, like you would literally be like an Anderson Cooper Jr. Like you already have kind of the look. Your hair starts to turn gray, and lo and behold, you're gonna have like your own morning show. You'll be hosting game shows and everything. You'll be on Jeopardy. You'll be everywhere. Let's go to the comments real quick. Then we'll go to break. Hamby's burner account says, "Lost me at no beer." See, I say, and like this is 36-year-old Austin talking now. Because if you would have talked to me when I was a rookie in the league in my second year, where I thought I had it all figured out, where I'm like, yeah, I'm a starter, I'm all good. Like beer and like I don't want to say partying, but like drinking was like almost like my decompressant, if you will. Like football was so stressful for me. You know, when you have Joel Cohen as a defensive line coach, the dude just haunts your dreams. He haunts your sleep. So like to me, like drinking a beer or like, you know, having a whiskey, it was almost like a way to decompress and everything. I feel like Tom Brady's route is like breath work or like yoga or a cold tub, which just sounds horrible, but obviously it worked for him really well. I don't know. I just think everything is in moderation, Ham. You do everything in moderation, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think, but I think a lot of people would probably be with my burner account in agreement with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about finding that balance. Now, Tom Brady's balance could be different than a lot of people's balance, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I think it's important to work hard and have goals and all this stuff, but you got to have a little fun too. And not having a carb, not having a basic beverage, a barley pop, if you will. Yeah, Tom, I feel like you kind of lost me as well. But, hey, to each their own, and obviously he knows what he's doing because the guy has more Super Bowls really than anybody. So I'm not going to hate on it. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back here, we'll kind of share our final thoughts on the preseason game coming up tomorrow. Maybe go around the league for a couple more stories, some outside the box things. And remember, we are streaming weekdays. We got 6 to 10, got Miller Moulton 10 to 1. You got myself and my co-host Brent Martineau, and then finish up your day from 4 to 6 with Young and Norvell on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. More sports talk when we get back here.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worries. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Gonna have the Whataburger Friday Night Blitz starting up at 10:30, going on till 11:15. I'm sorry, 10:30 on Fox 30, and it'll be 11:15 on CBS 47. Hamby, you be helping out with that?
Yes, sir. We got a whole crew.
What can we expect from the Friday Night Blitz this year?
Oh, there's gonna be a whole lot. Stand by on some things that are a little bit later on in 2 weeks, but we're gonna have think red zone on Sunday for NFL. Think that for high school football, and that's gonna be kind of what you're gonna be getting.
It's crazy how Brent can set all this stuff up, man. Basically, he's going to have a bunch of live cameras covering all these high school football games, and like you said, it's going to be NFL Red Zone for high school football. So if you're a football fan, if you're a fan of the sports here in this area, you got to check it out because, they're going to have all the exciting plays. No, so, Hamby, does that make you Scott Hansen, or is Brent Martineau Scott Hansen?
So he's Scott Hansen.
I guess Brent Martineau's,
Him and Stuart will be back in the studio, and he and myself and a couple of other of us, including the Human Enigma, will be out shooting games from all across the area. Speaking of, we got Marty Lee, as Brent said, on after the game tonight, or today at 2 o'clock, and I'll be at First Coast here in about 4 hours. They kick off at 5 o'clock, and I'll be shooting that game, so I'll have that for y'all.
Do you have a lot of camera experience, in terms of recording and shooting and everything?
I mean, I did a good bit last year. I remember, I had two back-to-back playoff games in Bradford that one of them went to overtime to go to states, and I was out there, and that was about as wild of a high school atmosphere as I've ever seen.
No, listen, man, I mean, you're a better person than I am because I feel like trying to shoot video for Brent Martineau, I mean, the dude knows what he wants. He's a perfectionist. I mean, we're sitting here, at the Bozard dealership right now. We have tons of windows, tons of just, great open windows, great natural light. And then I feel like I'm on the sun because we still have those two giant lights, those white lights that he always uses, just looking me right in the eyes, burning my retinas. Probably give me another 3 years of fighting left before I go completely blind, but hey, that's what it takes sometimes to get that money shot, and that's what we got here. As you can see, one of those Bozard trucks in the back. I'm not sure if that's going to be mine. I'd definitely ride in that one, but I heard that I might be getting a red one, so stay tuned for that. I feel like red is one of my colors here, but dude, I'll take whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as it looks badass, as long as it's souped up, as long as when I pull up to school with my son, he thinks he's the coolest dude ever. That's all I care about, because he brags about what I do for a living. I fight people, and he makes a habit of telling his teachers all the time, you better be nice to me because my dad's a UFC fighter, and that's great and everything. But now I kind of need the truck to match that persona, because my station wagon just really isn't doing that job. So hopefully I can get a little upgrade here and my son can be a little more proud of me from that standpoint. I want to touch on the Milwaukee Brewers, not so much about Christian Yelich out for the season. You know how I feel about that already. Don't need to go down that road. All I'm going to say is Christian Yelich, if you need a new spine, take mine. Okay? I don't need to fight anymore. What I do need to see is the Milwaukee Brewers win a World Series for once in my life. And if this is the year, then go ahead and take my spine right now. Okay? I'm cool with it. But what I wanted to talk about was, did you see the Brewers owner is getting sued for the most ridiculous reason of all time?
I did not see it.
So Mark Adesanya is the Brewers owner, obviously has a lot of money, has a house in Malibu Beach. Pretty expensive piece of real estate, we can all assume.
Right.
And like when you're filthy rich sometimes, I feel like you can kind of do whatever you want. He took a bunch of excavators, put them on Malibu Beach, stole the sand, and then put that said sand in his backyard because he wanted sand by his pool and everything. Now, when he did this, they didn't like fill the holes in, so there's just like giant holes in Malibu Beach, and obviously a lot of people have feel a certain type of way about that, and now he is getting sued. It didn't say for how much, but I think it's by his neighbors suing him, but then also Malibu Beach, like that city or whatever you want to call it, is also suing him. Jason Hamby, your thoughts about being so baller that you have the audacity to hire like a bunch of excavator companies to come in, scoop sand from a public beach when people are probably on it, and put it in your backyard.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, being from the First Coast, we know all about the beach renourishment projects that are always going around here. One's actually kind of just wrapping up in Jack's Beach. You know, we've seen that over the last couple of months. So I believe this is the first time I've ever heard of a beach denourishment project. Because this is exactly what this sounds like. Instead of adding sand, we're just going to take it away.
Beach denourishment project.
He just denourished the. Here's what I want to know. I want to know if the animals, right, all around, you got your sandpipers, and I'm just going to guess that they have all these things over there because they have them here. All of these birds. I wonder if they know. Like which house the excavators went to and from, and they're gonna pay that house a revisit and that lawn a visit, if you know what I'm saying. These birds, and let this homeowner know that they mess with their playground, and so they're gonna pay him a little have a little payback there.
I mean, that's not actually a bad call, and I don't get like how you'd like. He'll have to return the sand, right? If he's found guilty and like he gets sued and everything, I feel like you got to return the sand. I just don't know like how they get. I don't know. Once again, when you're a billionaire, you can kind of do whatever you want. But then here's where I'm going, Hamby, and this is where my mind's going. And I'm not trying to put anybody in a bad light here, but I'm 2 blocks away from the beach, okay? And I have a backyard that it needs something. All right, it's just a backyard. There's a grill. There's some grass. We had a bounce house on there one time for the kids, but that's about it. I need to liven up the backyard a little bit. And I'm looking at this Bozard truck right now. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's like an excavator because that's too obvious. But if we could take it within increments,
right?
Get a couple shovels, get a couple friends to help me out. I'll pay them well. And we load up those shovels. We load up a Bozard truck and we haul some sand from the beach back to my house.
Yeah.
Back to the beach, back to the house. And this is probably going to have to be at least 100 times because, it's not an excavator.
Right.
But then I wonder if we're talking about having a nice little backyard with some sand and some ambiance there as opposed to just some grass and a grill.
I think if you're willing to play the long game and wait patiently,
I am willing to play the long game
once a day for 100 days. I think this is very doable because who's gonna whatever from one trunk load of sand. But if you're wheeling and dealing out of there every 30 minutes, I don't like your chances.
That's a good point. But now here's the issue, though. We can't take the truck into the same location every single time. Like we have to go down the beat because people are going to start asking questions then. Right. But no, I agree with you here. If we just take a little sand here, a little sand there, put it in the backyard. I think we got something. I didn't know it was even illegal to like not take sand because like I've taken shells from a beach before. Is that illegal?
No.
Maybe I should be confessing to all this stuff. Is the real question right now?
Statute of limitations.
What happened like last week? But yeah, okay, yes, statute of limitations. Nonetheless, Hamby, hey, before we have to go off the air, we got about 8 minutes left. Your Braves, are you still? You're over the Braves?
Who?
All right, that answers my question. Next question: Are you a big UFC guy? I mean, I know like you have to be now because like you host a show with me sometimes, but do you follow the UFC a lot or not?
It's one of those where I'm not fully caught up with the happenings week to week until Saturday night. As
sure.
kind of is my catch up, and I don't watch every single time. Every Saturday night or every big card I'm in there. I'd like to think that I have a good handle on all of the known fighters. Now, do I know your all your featherweights and all that? No, I do not. But But I'm in there a decent bit.
Okay, well, you're not going to want to miss this one then. We got UFC 305 taking part this weekend, coming to you live from the RAC Center in Perth, Western Australia. That's a plane ride and a half. As someone who had to fly out to Australia for a fight, not fun if you're not a resident of Australia to try to get there. But you got Dricus du Plessis taking on Israel Adesanya. It's been a giant hyped up event. There's definitely some bad blood here. I'm not sure if you've been following it at all, but Stylebender, aka Israel Adesanya, was crying yesterday at the press conference, which I think might have been a first in terms of UFC history, where we had a fighter actually like cry during their press conference. So that was wild.
Do we know why?
I guess kind of struck a nerve a little bit. Oh yeah. I can go break it down real quick. So. If you've been following this fight, I don't want to get like too in depth because how much I can share, how much I can't share. Basically, Dricus du Plessis is from South Africa. Israel Adesanya, I believe, was born in Africa, and then him and his family moved to Australia.
Okay.
So Dricus has been going around saying how he's the first like true champion that's African born that lives in Africa, and he's bringing the belt back to Africa. And Israel Adesanya, who was born there, felt a certain type of way about it. That's kind of a long story short.
Okay.
But there's been some things in terms of like, and this is when it's like the UFC and it's like you're trying to be like, professional wrestling. There's been some things saying how Israel Adesanya maybe grew up a little better than sometimes he talks about. So like, Dricus du Plessis said something about like when you were a child you had a butler or something like that, or you had a maid, and then that sent Israel Adesanya on a tangent about saying how his mom had to work 2 jobs and all this stuff. So I'm not sure who's telling the truth and everything, but it struck a nerve with Stylebender when he started talking about his mother and his family. But like I said, I think it's the first time I've actually see someone like kind of break down and cry during a UFC press conference. And people are kind of getting super into this because you can put it 2 ways. Is he so emotional where he brings that emotion in the cage and that's going to cause him to make a mistake?
Right.
Or does he use that emotion as extra motivation, if you will, and you see the best version of Israel Adesanya? And Hamby, I actually want to ask you this question because you're a baseball coach. I know you're thinking like, okay, baseball fighting, not a lot of things in common. And you might be right, but I do think one big thing that both sports have in common is that it's mental. Yes, you go out there and punch people in the face, you get punched, but I'm willing to sit here and say I believe fighting is at least 80% mental and 20% physical. Okay. And I think baseball would kind of be along those lines a little bit. So let me ask you this. If you're coaching somebody, right, and maybe they're in a little bit of a slump, maybe they're just, they're having a rough couple of games, like, do you prefer the guy who's more even-keeled, doesn't show any emotion whatsoever, or do you prefer the guy that's going to kind of, wear his heart on his sleeve a little bit, share his emotions, share that he's pissed off that they're hitting the ball or something like that. What do you prefer as a baseball coach?
Yeah, I think in baseball, I think you're exactly right. Obviously Yogi Berra has the famous quote, baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical. So that's great math. That's math that we appreciate on the Brent Austen Show.
That's that Brent Austen math right there.
Yeah. But baseball is one where you have to be even keel, because if you ride the highs and the lows and you're too much hard on your sleeve, there's very few guys that can really get away with that. Like Jazz Chisholm, I think, is one of those guys, and I was able to kind of get to know him a little bit when he played with the Shrimp. That's a guy that immediately comes to mind, but there's not many that do that and succeed, because it's just you fail too many times. You just fail too many times. If you're always so attached to the result, then good luck digging out of that cave.
Okay, but let me ask you this. How about from a pitcher perspective? Because I feel like I'm reminded of like Brian Wilson when he played for the Giants, won the World Series on a strikeout. Dude was intimidating. Like, he had a ridiculous beard, and like he was definitely like this cartoon kind of folk character, because his personality outside of baseball was just one for the ages. But like, I always felt like when Brian Wilson, and we have, there's a lot of pitchers that like this, like when they got on the mound, like, I don't want to say they're necessarily really emotional, but they almost pervade like this sense of like, I'm about to dominate you and you can't stop it. So I did feel some emotion there. So would you rather see more like intensity and maybe wear your heart on your shoulders some more if you are a pitcher compared to a batter?
That's one of those things where I wouldn't mind it for a closer like Brian Wilson was, but a starting pitcher is a whole different other mentality, which is kind of, a closer, you got to be on for 5 minutes and you air it out and you're done. Starting pitcher, we're expecting 7 innings from you, so it's a whole different game.
All right, man. Well, I think we are behind it here. Let's get ahead and log off the show. Thanks to our friends at Bozard Built for helping us out today, for hosting us. I didn't get a steak yet. No hard feelings, though. I feel like I'm going to get a truck out of it, so we're all good there. For Brent Martineau in his NFL meeting right now, for Jason Hamby and Nick in the daytime pushing all the right buttons, I'm Austen Lane. Enjoy that Jaguars game tomorrow. Stay safe. Stay casual. Check you all out next week.